Chapter 503. After the blood oath, Yu Yang, Shark King, and Hyein Wu discussed for a while and agreed on all kinds of secret words. After that, Shark King went to find the hybrid fishman. He would not be able to hide his identity, and if Empress Jellyfish found out, she would definitely be suspicious. So, he pretended to come for revenge and was injured by Octopus Man Boss and Swordfish Man Blast. It was more reasonable. Hyein Wu stayed behind and did not follow her brother back to Fire Island. After Yu Yang returned to his room, Xia rushed out from the corridor like an arrow and stopped Hyein Wu, who was resting with the maid. "Hey you, why are you staying?" Xia asked Yu Yang just now, and based on what she had seen and heard, she already knew that Hyein Wu was the daughter of the Ocean Emperor. She was even more vigilant. Xia had no enmity towards the half-elf girl. She was just a little slave girl that he ordered around, and she was obedient and gentle. There would not be any problems. But the one in front of her was the daughter of the Ocean Emperor. This daughter of the Ocean Emperor was not only strong, but also very ambitious. Most importantly, that big pervert was the enemy who killed her father. Now that she came to cooperate with him, did she really not have any ulterior motives? After my father left, there's no place for us siblings to stay. Brother and I feel that staying with Little Titan is the safest. I think I will temporarily stay here for about a year and then leave. Don't worry, I have no love for Little Titan and will not steal your position. There are two reasons why I'm staying here. One is that I need the protection of my allies. The other is that I am staying here as a hostage to show the sincerity of our cooperation. Hyein Wu's coral mask only covered half of her face and not her mouth. At this moment, her seductive and plump red lips revealed a bitter smile. Is he really the enemy who killed your father? This was what Xia could not understand. Why would they cooperate with the enemy who killed their father? Big Brother said that father freed himself. He was murdered by Empress Jellyfish's bastard and was deserted by everyone. Then he fought within Shi and was heavily injured. If not for Little Titan, Brother would not have survived. Because of Little Titan's help, his father left with dignity. In regards to father's matter, he is not my and Brother's enemy. He could be considered as a competitor for the treasure. Hyein Wu paused slightly as if she was hesitating, but in the end, she still explained. Are you saying that you don't hate him at all? Xia felt that this woman was a huge threat. Hate? I hate him, but it has nothing to do with father. He did something that I hate. Hyein Wu replied. He did that to you? Xiaoyi's heart ached. Did that pervert really like big-breasted girls that much? Not to mention that the slave girl had a childish face and huge breasts. The daughter of the Sea Emperor was also very voluptuous. Only he had repeatedly laughed at his small breasts. No, Hyein Wu muttered. That's my private matter. I don't want to talk about it. How strong are you now? Xia asked again. Innate level 1. Is this important? I understand now. You suspect that my strength was increased by him? No, my strength was inherited from father. Hyein Wu was extremely smart and easily caught Xiaoyi's thoughts. I don't know what he is thinking, and I don't care. Xia looked at Hyein Wu, but I will keep an eye on you. I understand that you don't welcome me. Hyein Wu suddenly smiled and changed the topic. Your clothes are very unique. Did he specially design it for you? I have never seen such a strange outfit before. It has a lot of personality and is very sexy and wild. It's very tempting. It has nothing to do with you, customer. Xia turned and walked away. Seeing Xia walk away step by step, Hyein Wu sighed slightly. She had already expected Xiaoyi's words and actions, so she did not take it to heart. It was just that the last sentence made her heart feel a little sour. Customer. If he had agreed to her on the Fire Island that day, perhaps her father would not have died in battle. Perhaps she could have persuaded her father to give him the Mother Earth potion and things would not have turned out like this. Instead, they would have walked towards a perfect ending. He would have allied with her father, and she would have done her best to assist him and serve him. Unfortunately, he rejected her, and she fell mercilessly from the clouds of happiness back to reality. Of course, Hyein Wu knew that even if he promised her, things might not develop according to the best situation, but it was still a hope. Now, her father was dead, and he had become a stranger who did not belong to her. She had brushed past her happiness. Sigh. Hai Wu sighed slightly. There was an indescribable perplexity in her heart. What would her future be like? She did not know that even her father could not truly control the ocean. Could she fulfill his last wish and become the new Ocean Empress? Moreover, was this Ocean Empress really her ultimate dream? Instead of being a high and mighty Ocean Empress, it would be better to return to the Inferno Island and be the silly girl who would daydream in front of his room. It would be great if time could be reversed. Unfortunately, it was impossible lakeside house. Outside the master bedroom, study room. This business is too good. Yu Yang was probably the only person in the world who was dissatisfied with the booming business. Because Yu Yang was so powerful. First, he killed Nightmare, Tiger Nian, then Demon Eye, Sky Dragon, and finally, even the Ocean Emperor was killed. This caused the merchants to rush over like a tide, fighting to do business with the Titan Chamber of Commerce. Everyone knew that Little Titan was wanted by the Sea Clan, but that was not important, because even a blind person could see that the Sea Clan was just bluffing. If the Sea Clan was really capable, Empress Jellyfish would have killed Little Titan to avenge the Ocean Emperor. Why would they issue a bounty? Now that the Titan commerce was still in its infancy, it was the best time to work with them. There were also some strong warriors who were not recognized by others who rushed over, hoping to join the Titan commerce. Fat Toad Giada, this wretched fat man's success story, had become the most inspiring example in the whole Tong Tian Tower. No matter how weak he was definitely stronger than Fat Toad, who only knew how to bootlick. Fat Toad was able to become the second butler and the president of the Titan Commerce. Why couldn't people who were 100 times more talented than him make a name for themselves in the Titan Commerce? Hence, the Titan Commerce became famous overnight. There were many merchants who came to do business, lords who came to offer money for protection, and warriors who came to perform for them. When Yang was not around, Yin Zheng the butler and Fat Toad could temporarily suppress the matter and not report it. When Yang came back, Yin Zheng the butler immediately reported everything to Yu Yang. Hence, Yu Yang had a headache. He came back to the Thunder Fortress to enjoy the gentle service of the half-elf girl, not to work like a slave and work hard to earn money. I can't just ignore it. This made Yu Yang very angry. He sighed in his heart. Why was it that other than Yin Zheng the old-fashioned butler, there was no one else who could help him? Yin Zheng the butler did a good job. He was meticulous and meticulous. Unfortunately, he was too old-fashioned. He had to listen to Yu Yang's opinion on everything. With him around, the business would become more and more successful, but Yu Yang would be exhausted to death. Furthermore, he could not manage so many things by himself. Fat Toad was good at bragging, he was good at socializing, but his management skills were terrible. The hybrid fishmen only knew how to eat, drink, and fight. Furthermore, they wanted to enjoy themselves more than Yu Yang, so it was impossible for them to manage. Xiai? She was not this kind of talent. Yu Yang let her try just now and found out that she was only good at fighting. The little slave girl was very smart and had a certain management ability, but she did not like to do these things. She was only willing to spend time to serve him. Seeing her working hard all day, he could not bear it. This was his little slave girl, not a tool to make money. Yu Yang had no choice but to do it himself and clear the mountain of things. The half-elf girl gently massaged his thighs, fed him snacks from time to time, or ran out to bring in a bowl of sweets. In short, with her around, Yu Yang would never lack gentle service. If you don't like to do these things, just burn them all. Xia felt that Yu Yang was asking for it. She was secretly angry and hated herself for not being able to help him. Shut up. I asked you to help me sort these things, but you asked me to burn them all. I'd rather not have you. Yu Yang was furious. If I didn't see you being troubled, I wouldn't have bothered to say anything. Xia was also angry and replied. He, the half-elf girl, secretly laughed. She had seen Yu Yang and Xia quarrel countless times. These two people were born to be the wrong-door gods. They quarreled whenever they saw each other, but no matter how much they quarreled, they were still on each other's side. Hai Wu, who had been sitting quietly in front of the table and watching the whole night, suddenly said, "Why don't you let me try? I don't think these things are difficult, just a little complicated." Xia was very unhappy when she heard this. She was also a smart girl. She knew that these things were not difficult, but she had a fiery temper and could not control it. She could not help but fly into a rage when she saw some stupid warrior's recommendation letter. She could not help but fly into a rage when she saw a trader's list full of mistakes. Are they trying to cheat me? How dare the Titan Commerce Organization lie? Did the Titan Commerce Organization have too much money and are stupid? Because of this, she was not willing to care about these things. She felt that it was best to use force and violence to deal with these people. Now that Hai Yingwu said this, Xia Yi became vigilant again. Could it be that this daughter of the Ocean Emperor had this ability? Was she good at these things? Let's try. When Yu Yang heard this, he remembered that day on Fire Island. She said that if he stayed in the room, she was willing to help him achieve hegemony. Could it be that this Hai Yingwu really had this ability? You trust me just like that? Before Hai Yingwu asked, she first looked at Xia Yi and the half-elf girl. I can give you the entire sea region of Tong Tian Tower. Why would I care about a little bit of money? Yu Yang actually knew that Hai Yingwu was just using his words to dispel Xia Yi's hostility. When he said this, Xia Yi indeed showed a disdainful expression towards Hai Yingwu. She was relieved. It was impossible for this Hai Yingwu to steal his assets. Then I'll try. Hai Yingwu heard this and sat down. She picked up a big stack of documents that were waiting for Yu Yang to examine. Xia Yi snorted and sat down, waiting for Hai Yingwu to make a fool of herself. It would be best if this Hai Yingwu made a lot of mistakes and provoke him to scold her until she was too ashamed to show her face, so that she would not overestimate herself. 10 minutes later, Hai Yingwu stood up. She passed the documents in her hands to Yu Yang. Other than the agreement at the top that needs your signature, the rest have been settled. Xia Yi was dumbfounded. So fast. Yu Yang was also very surprised. He bent his head and carefully examined the documents on the documents. They had really been settled, and it was done properly. If it was him, he would have done the same. Under Xia Yi's gaze, Hai Yingwu moved all the documents in front of Yu Yang to her desk and started to work. Xia Yi was stunned for a while, then suddenly rushed towards Yu Yang and grabbed his collar. Eye to eye, nose to nose, she stared at him angrily. What else do you want to do? Take it out now. When the half-elf girl heard this, she laughed until she bent over and leaned into Yu Yang's embrace, overjoyed. Chapter 504. It's not that I don't have a job. I still need someone to scrub me. What do you think? When Yu Yang said this, Hai Yingwu, who was pretending to be serious, could not help but laugh. Xia Yi really wanted to bite this brat to death. Actually, there's one thing that only you can do. When Yu Yang said this, Xia Yi was happy again. Only she can do it? Look, this is a truly talented person. She glanced at Hai Yingwu to demonstrate. Hai Yingwu was also a little surprised. What kind of job could only be done by Xia Yi? The two girls secretly competed with each other. The half-elf girl did not participate in this at all. She only cared about preparing hot water for Yu Yang's bath. Xia Yi hurriedly let go of Yu Yang and put on a "I'm ready and can leave any time" look. Yu Yang nodded and picked up a small book from the table. He passed it to Xia Yi. From tomorrow onwards, return to the Gufeng continent and help me investigate the situation of the Gufeng continent's ancient passage teleportation circle. I need it urgently. If you don't think one person is enough, I can arrange a few more for you. No need, I can do it. Xia Yi patted her chest and guaranteed. Forget about her current lesser innate strength. Even if she was a level 6 elder in the past, she would still be able to pass through unhindered. But why would this brat want to know the situation of the ancient passage teleportation circle? Was he trying to coax her to leave and spend time alone with the Ocean Emperor's daughter? When Xia Yi thought about this, she became anxious again and immediately asked, "Are you free tomorrow?" Yu Yang seemed to have seen through Xia Yi's thoughts. He stretched out his hand and caressed her face. "I will return to the soaring dragon continent tomorrow. I will come back 10 days later. In the next 10 days, you must investigate the situation of the teleportation circle. If anyone is using it, immediately report to me. Do not let anyone find out. If no one is using the teleportation circle, record down the situation of the teleportation circle. It would be best if you can draw out a complete picture. Xiaoyi blushed when Yu Yang touched her face. If it was any other time, she would definitely be angry. However, at this moment, she shyly lowered her head and looked at her toes as if she did not know how to think. Remember, if you discover anyone using the teleportation formation, immediately return and report to me. Here's an Eye Destroyer dagger for you to protect yourself. Yu Yang gently inserted the Eye Destroyer dagger into Xia Yi's belt. If we encounter the Demon Clan in the Gufeng continent and are no match for them, just tell them his name. It should be of some use. Haiying Wu suddenly added. Xia Yi was going crazy. She thought that no one would think that she was mute if she didn't speak now. I'm not a silly girl. Who doesn't know this? Of course, the mission came first. No matter how stupid he was, how could he act rashly and affect his important matters? Xia Yi turned around and prepared to leave immediately. She wanted to return to the Gufeng continent to investigate the situation of the ancient passage's teleportation portal. Wait for tomorrow? No, he had to use the fastest efficiency to complete his mission. Yu Yang suddenly shouted from behind and chased after him. Xia Yi was stunned. This kid couldn't bear to part with her? Or do you want to cancel the mission? Give me your hand. Yu Yang gestured for Xia Yi to extend her hand. Xia Yi looked at the book in her hand. As expected, he regretted his decision and wanted to cancel the mission. She immediately protested. I can do it. Why don't you let me try? She said she can do it, and you let her help you. Why don't you believe me? Xia Yi's eyes turned red and tears of grievance rolled down her cheeks. She really wanted to cry. However, she tried her best to hold it in. She did not want to cry in front of him. Yu Yang pulled her little hand and glared at her. What nonsense are you talking about? Xia Yi heard that he did not regret his decision and immediately stopped struggling. She looked at him in surprise. Yu Yang stuffed a small pouch in her palm and said, There are magic crystals and gold coins inside. Try your best to use them. Okay. Xia Yi lowered her head shyly. She had really thought wrongly. There are 2 puppet crystals inside. Each of them can summon a gold-ranked level 6 Earth Warrior. If there are many enemies, just summon them and let them kill indiscriminately. You don't have to retrieve them. The most important thing is for you to return safely and bring back information for me. This gold bracelet is an identification device. You must wear it on your arm and don't lose it. It is the core secret of making puppets. Yu Yang then took out an extremely exquisite golden bracelet that was engraved with strange runes and gently put it on Xia Yi's jade arm. Xia Yi bit her lips tightly. She tried her best not to cry and not to expose too much of her emotions in front of him. However, there was still a teardrop that refused to listen to him and dripped onto his palm. Haiying Wu was holding 2 documents in her hands. However, her gaze was not on them. She was looking at Xia Yi and the gold bracelet that Yu Yang put on her. After Xia Yi left, the room became quiet. Haiying Wu retracted her gaze and suddenly asked Yu Yang, Do you think she will be in danger? Yu Yang pondered for a while and shook his head. I hope my guess is wrong. However, I have a feeling that Xia Yi will be fine. Otherwise, I will not let her go back alone. Haiying Wu wanted to say something, but stopped. She then lowered her head and continued to look at the documents in her hands, concentrating. About 5 minutes later, Xia Yi, who had changed from her assassin attire to her black thief attire, appeared in front of Yu Yang once again. She did not speak. Her bright eyes seemed to contain thousands of words. Yu Yang remembered something and beckoned her over. Oh, right. I have been researching blood recently. Give me a few drops of blood. A few drops will be enough. Xia Yi used the tip of the Eye Destroyer dagger to prick her finger and squeezed a few drops of blood into the jade bottle in Yu Yang's hand. She looked at Yu Yang and seemed to want to leave, but she did not move. Suddenly, she rushed into Yu Yang's embrace and hugged him tightly. Then, she left without looking back. Her stubborn shadow gradually went further and further away. It was as if raindrops were falling on the dust. Haiying Wu continued to pretend to look at the documents until Xia Yi left for the second time. When Yu Yang was preparing to take a bath, she said with a hint of jealousy, She is very cute. Occasionally, Yu Yang answered her. Did you help her increase the uncontrollable energy in her body? Haiying Wu asked without batting an eyelid. You have the Ocean Emperor's golden dragon king bloodline in your body. She also has a pretty good bloodline that is not inferior to yours. It's just that she does not have an Ocean Emperor father. Yu Yang took off his Gemini mask and smiled. Hai Yingwu was stunned when she saw Yu Yang smile. This was the second time she was stunned after seeing him take off his Gemini mask 3 hours ago. After taking a bath, he enjoyed the half-elf girl's massage. After collecting her and Hai Yingwu's blood, Yu Yang decided to leave the Thunder Fortress in the middle of the night. Although the half-elf girl was reluctant, she still sent him a sweet smile. Especially when Yu Yang kissed her goodbye. Even though it was a kiss on her forehead, she still felt extremely happy. It was like a wife sending her husband off. The half-elf girl sent him off again and again until Yu Yang left. Then, she returned shyly and blissfully. She climbed onto the big bed happily and covered her head with a blanket. She slowly reminisced about his hug and kiss. In the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, Yu Yang arrived at the Warrior Guild. After meeting O Jin, he decided to send a letter to Jizun, Night Empress, Impatience, Shui Wuxia, and Princess Sisai to send his regards. Girl, I miss you. How much? Just like how you miss me. This was written to Shui Wuxia. Tigress, I haven't heard your voice for a long time. I'm really not used to living without someone roaring beside my ears. Hurry up and come back. Now that I'm back, I won't let you leave again, lest some blind guy abduct my Hunyo. All right, I never dare to ask you. Since you can't hit me now, let me ask you, are you really the Flawless by Tigress? This was written to Princess Sisai. He reckoned that Princess Sisai would explode in anger after reading this letter. Let's not talk about anything else. Hurry up and lure sister-in-law Sky Disaster to Tian Luo Palace so that I can tease her. This was written to Impatience. The world's most beautiful, most generous, and kindest. 100 million words omitted here. Night Empress, Yu Clan's 3rd young master, knows how to warm the bed, flatter others, beg for a mistress, no, beg for guidance. It's like this, regarding the usage of the dream jadeite. If a person never dreams, can he use the dream jadeite? Yu Yang felt that it was better to ask the most authoritative Night Empress. The Night Empress Fata Morgana was like a dream, but it was combined with reality. It was said that she used the dream jadeite and some kind of treasure to complete it. In this world, any attack below innate level 6 could be completely ignored. There were only a handful of people in Tong Tian Tower who could break through the Fata Morgana and enter it. The most important point was that the Fata Morgana's law was described according to the Night Empress will. It was not a divine item, but it was comparable to one. He did not dare to mess around with the letter that Yu Yang wrote to Jizun. He wrote very seriously, Jizun, a great battle is imminent. I sincerely invite you to ride. This disciple greets you again. When Yu Yang was about to send the top-secret letter, the receptionist who recognized Yu Yang fainted. It's you again? Even if you have money, you can't waste it like this? This time, just send it to the Night Empress alone, let her pass on arrest. Of course, Yu Yang would not spend tens of thousands of gold coins to send a top-secret letter. However, this kind of letter obviously could not be known by ordinary people, otherwise it would affect the image of the Night Empress and the Impatience greatly. He spent 10,000 gold coins for peace of mind. In any case, the income of Yu Yang's Tita Merchant Guild was faster than robbing money. Yes, when a receptionist heard that it was the Night Empress, he was shocked. He quickly straightened his face and bowed respectfully to receive the letter. After writing the letter, Yu Yang was preparing to return to the soaring dragon continent. Suddenly, he saw 3 people standing in front of him waiting for him. The appearance of these 3 people made Yu Yang's heartbeat immediately increase by 100 times. His whole body tensed up. The people on both sides did not speak. They only looked at Yu Yang. The tall man in the middle who was hidden in the cloak had a very gentle voice with a special magnetism. It was incomparably pleasing to the ear. He greeted Yu Yang softly. Nice to meet you, Yu Clan's 3rd young master. I have heard of your name for a long time. Coincidentally, I heard the news of Shark King's defeat. Only then did I know that you were also on the 6th floor. So, I specially came here to wait for you. I never thought that I would really meet you. I'm really envious. When I was your age, I was only a level 5 Grandmaster. I had been working hard to become a level 6 Elder for 3 whole years. A genius that only appears once in 10,000 years. I, Old Black, thought that the prison emperor was the most outstanding person in the world. I never thought that there would really be someone who could surpass him. Yu Yang's pupils shrunk slightly, becoming as sharp as a needle. He knew who the person in front of him was, but he never thought that he would meet this person in such a way. This opponent had also played a good hand. It was unexpected. He was indeed not simple. Chapter 505. The person who came was, of course, the Black Hell King that Yu Yang didn't want to see the most. Not only did this guy have a whole body of holy ranked equipment, even the cloak he was wearing was a gold-ranked treasure phantom. This made Yu Yang extremely jealous. What a nouveau riche, showing off like this. Wasn't he afraid that others would snatch it away? Yu Yang really wanted to snatch this cloak, but with his current strength, he was still lacking a little to snatch the Black Hell King's treasures. However, the soaring dragon continent would soon erupt into war. If he could kill the Black Hell King then, the gold-ranked cloak was nothing. His holy-ranked equipment was Yu Yang's real target. As long as Ji Zun returned, Yu Yang was at least 80% sure that he could kill the Black Hell King. Then, he would step on his corpse to ascend the heaven stairway and enter the heaven realm. As for the Sky Emperor and the Emperor of the Underworld, they would only be a group of bystanders. Yu Yang would definitely not share the fruits of victory with them. Uncle, you are? Yu Yang pretended not to know the Black Hell King. Haha, what an interesting young man. The Black Hell King didn't answer, but pretended to laugh out loud. He knew that Yu Yang didn't recognize him on purpose to attack him. He immediately laughed out loud. Not only him, even the 2 subordinates of the Black Hell King, War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North, also laughed out loud. When they knew that Shark King went to the Thunder Fortress to challenge and was defeated by Little Titan, they immediately came to the teleportation circle in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower to wait for Yu Yang. As expected, he easily intercepted this cunning and talented 3rd young master of the Yu clan. The Black Hell King had wanted to kill this young man a few times. After all, it was very unwise to let this young man with unlimited potential grow into the next prison emperor. However, there was one person who caused the Black Hell King to hold back. He had many misgivings. That was Ji Zun. She was the Yu clan's 3rd young master's introducer in Tong Tian Tower. Although she did not publicly admit it, she was actually his master. The Black Hell King had every reason to believe that if it wasn't for Ji Zun's hard work, no matter how talented or how much potential this Yu clan's 3rd young master had, he wouldn't be able to grow so quickly. Killing the Yu clan's 3rd young master was easy, but provoking Ji Zun would definitely make her furious. She would probably disregard everything to take revenge for her beloved disciple. This was the last thing the Black Hell King wanted to see. Between Ji Zun and himself, who was stronger? The Black Hell King couldn't be sure either, but he knew that if Ji Zun were to use her full strength, his subordinates would definitely be annihilated. Before obtaining the Divine Grimoire, before entering the God's ruins to obtain God's blood, martial souls, and other ancient treasures, the Black Hell King didn't want to start an all-out war with Ji Zun. An internecine outcome would only allow the Dragon Emperor, Sky Emperor, Emperor of the Underworld, and other pursuers to take advantage of the situation. Moreover, the Black Hell King's body had not recovered to its peak condition. It was not the best time to start battle with Ji Zun. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North quietly looked at each other. When it was inconvenient for the Black Hell King to make a move, they would start probing. No matter what, they had to test out the Yu clan's 3rd young master. If he was a great threat, then they would kill him regardless of the consequences. If he wasn't the greatest threat, then they would teach him a lesson and give Ji Zun a warning. I have long heard of the Yu clan's 3rd young master's name. I hope that the 3rd young master can give me some pointers. War Tiger of the East spoke very politely, but his killing intent was hidden. Ever since the Zijin Kingdom subbase was destroyed by Yu Yang and they suffered heavy losses, War Tiger of the East had lost all his face. He had always been ashamed and hated Yu Yang to the bone. Even if the Black Hell King wasn't by his side, he still wanted to test out Yu Yang's skills. Feng Shi greets the third young master. I would also like to ask for pointers. A burly, bronze-skinned, middle-aged man, who was 2 meters tall, threw off his cloak before anyone else did. Hearing him say that his surname was Feng, Yu Yang secretly frowned. His surname was Feng again? Previously, the matter between Miss Feng and fourth uncle had just ended. Then, Yu Yang caught the crazy Mr. Feng Jin, at the Z Jin Kingdom subbase. Now, one of the 5 great generals under the Black Hell King, Fierce Tooth of the North, also had the surname Feng. What was the relationship between this wild Boar King and Fierce Tooth of the North and the Feng clan? Could it be that the Feng clan had a mysterious and unknown history in the past? With 3 strong enemies in front of him, Yu Yang temporarily suppressed his curiosity and suspicions. I don't dare to give you pointers. My skills are just SOSO, and I'm afraid that I might accidentally injure the 2 seniors. If that's the case, then it wouldn't be good. Yu Yang chuckled. If that's the case, then all the more reason to give them pointers. Otherwise, they wouldn't know their place. The Black Hell King's gaze turned cold. Please enlighten us. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North looked at each other tacitly. If it was another junior who said this, they would laugh their heads off. However, they couldn't ignore what this Yu clan's third young master said. Even the great emperor of Z-Wei, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince had said that this Yu clan's third young master improved very quickly. They reckoned that he had the power of an innate level 8 now. The Black Hell King was secretly shocked by their comments. In terms of growth speed, the Prison Emperor couldn't even be compared to the Yu clan's third young master. Since ancient times, there had never been such a person who could become an innate before the age of 20 and then crazily climb to innate level 8 within 2 years. Forget about normal warriors. Even the Prison Emperor, who was the most talented and accomplished 6,000 years ago, couldn't do this. Yu Yang smiled indifferently towards Fierce Tooth of the North, who was the first to challenge him. This doesn't seem like a good place to fight, right? I'm fortunate to meet you all. If it's not convenient to talk here, why don't you come to my resting place and have some tea and fruits before we discuss who's better? A well-mannered and cultured voice came from faraway place. The voice seemed to come from far away, but it was clear as if someone was speaking beside their ears. A black dot appeared out of nowhere and walked towards him step by step. Every time this person took a leisurely step, his body would advance 100 meters. In the blink of an eye, he was already standing beside Yu Yang. The person who came was dressed in a black robe and had a head full of gray hair. However, his face was young and he didn't look old at all. His demeanor was refined and courteous, yet he was natural and reserved. There was a kind of calmness that wouldn't move him even if the sky fell and the earth split open. He was, of course, Elder Nangong, who went to the Soaring Dragon continent to fetch Yu Yang. His appearance made the Black Hell King's pupils shrink. He immediately laughed and greeted Elder Nangong with an innate greeting. Elder Nangong also returned the greeting to the Black Hell King, War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North. Since Elder Nangong has invited me, how could I not accept? Please. The Black Hell King pretended to be generous and extended his hand. The Black Hell King has already reached the innate elder level. Tong Tian Tower respects power and not age. Although Nangong Luo Yun is a few years older than you, he is not worthy of being called elder. Just call him Nangong. Elder Nangong's words gave Yu Yang a shock. The Black Hell King was an old man from 6,000 years ago. It was already exaggerated enough that Elder Nangong was older than the Black Hell King. How old was this old man? No wonder someone as strong as the Black Hell King had to greet this old man first. Yu Yang felt that even now, with his Heaven Eyes divine vision upgraded, he still couldn't see through Elder Nangong. From this, it could be seen that this old man wasn't simple. He had underestimated him. Of course, he couldn't rule out the possibility that Elder Nangong had a treasure or some kind of inherent skill to hide the truth. Elder Nangong, please. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North looked at Yu Yang and replied in unison. Little Titan, what do you think? Elder Nangong asked. I'm sorry, I won't go to a place with only uncles and old men without beauties. Yu Yang rejected immediately. Elder Nangong seemed to have guessed that Yu Yang would say this, so his expression didn't change. The Black Hell King also acted like an expert and didn't say anything. Only War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North were shocked by Yu Yang's words. Almost no one in this world would dare to reject Elder Nangong's invitation. This brat was really a freak. Most importantly, Elder Nangong was obviously protecting him, but he didn't appreciate it at all. Was he really that confident that he could escape with his life under the combined attack of the three of them? The sound of a peepa rang out. It was like the sound of nature. At first, it was light and slow, like a spring. Gradually, it became faster, like a spring breeze blowing on the earth. It was intoxicating. The speed of the sound changed again. In an instant, the peepa was played rapidly, and the music changed into a howling winter wind. Everyone felt as if they were in a world of ice and snow. Cold air assaulted their bodies, and the coldness seeped into their bones, almost turning their blood into ice. There was another kind of hoarse sound that grew louder and louder. In the end, it sounded like a huge army charging towards them in the wind and snow. The voices of the people and the neighing of the war horses were deafening. Suddenly, there were countless terrifying soldiers that looked like killing gods. Their roars were like thunder as they charged towards them. They raised their blood-blossom blades and beheaded their enemies one by one. Even someone with a tenacious will like Yu Yang couldn't help but be immersed in such a terrifying, demonic music performance when he heard it. The demonic music was killing him. His soul trembled slightly. Suddenly, the innate chi in his dantian erupted like a volcano, rampaging through his entire body, completely dispersing the cold air that felt like he was in an icy hell. Good, what a great song, Snow Treading. The Black Hell King clapped his hands. Yu Yang used Heaven Eye's divine vision to capture the minute changes in the energy between the Black Hell King's hands in a thousandth of a second. The Black Hell King's performance was even worse than his own. He needed to clap his hands to dispel the negative effects of the music. Of course, Yu Yang knew that with his innate chi and nirvana flame, it was normal for him to resist the effects of the demonic music better than the Black Hell King. However, he didn't expect that the Black Hell King, who was equipped with holy ranked weapons, would still be affected by the peepa's demonic music. This song is intoxicating and lingers on for 3 days. Elder Nangong also praised. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North were speechless. They hurriedly opened their mouths and spat out a cold air that resembled an ice arrow. The curious warriors who were watching from afar had all turned into ice sculptures. Their expressions were frozen forever. Unknowingly, their lives disappeared. The demonic music pierced the ears and was so powerful. Yu Yang was shocked and couldn't help but shiver. He felt that the Black Hell King was secretly observing him. He thought that it was a close shave, so he quickly pretended that he was affected by the demonic music and his body couldn't take it anymore. The Black Hell King's eyes were as sharp as a blade. He had already identified the authenticity of Yu Yang's reaction. He was secretly shocked at Yu Yang, who recovered after just a shiver. He realized that the rumors were true. This Yu clan's third young master really had the strength of an innate level 8. In terms of the effects of the demonic music, his recovery was above War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North. If it wasn't for the natural shiver earlier, he would have been fooled. It seemed that his recovery was only slightly inferior to Yu Yang and Elder Nangong. He was indeed as abnormal as the rumors said. A beautiful woman carrying jade peepa walked over. She was draped in a snow-white robe. Before she arrived, her fragrance had already assaulted him. Chapter 506. The beautiful lady hugging the jade peepa first paid her respects to Elder Nangong, then to the Black Hell King. Finally, when it was Yu Yang's turn, she revealed a smile that could topple cities. "We meet again. Do I know you?" Yu Yang pretended not to know her. He scratched his head and looked like he was in deep thought. After a long time, he clapped his hands. "Ah, I remember now. Aren't you the girl who got a room with me? I remember that you have a sexy mole on your butt. What nonsense are you talking about?" The beautiful lady hugging the jade peepa was extremely embarrassed. She blushed and rolled her eyes at Yu Yang coquettishly. Isn't that so? Then are you the fat guy who had a crush on me and desperately wrote me love letters? When did you undergo plastic surgery? You look really hot now. Not only are you curvy, your face is also tender. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have rejected you. Fat guy, why didn't you tell me that you lost weight? Yu Yang showed a regretful expression. Are you sure you didn't get the wrong person? Do you want to get closer to take a closer look? The beautiful lady knew that he liked to play tricks, so she teased him. Let me take a look. Yu Yang really got closer and looked at her carefully. Suddenly, he stretched out his hand and heavily patted the beautiful girl's shoulder. He hugged her as if he had met an old friend. I was wondering who it was. So it's you, this tomboy. I remember that when we stood on a tree and peed into a water tank, your body was as flat as a summoning grimoire. You had no chest or butt. I didn't expect this silly girl to change so much and become like this. TSK, you're amazing. Xiaohua, your chest isn't fake, right? There's no reason for it to be so big and perky. Tell me honestly, is there a hot water bottle inside? Xiaohua, don't try to act tough. Fake breasts can be easily discovered. Come, let Big Brother appraise them for you. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North almost fainted. This rascal had too many tricks up his sleeves. It's not that I haven't seen perverts before, but I've never seen such an awesome pervert. People said that the Yu clan's third young master's talent was astonishing and his potential was limitless. Who would have thought that his methods of teasing beauties were even more astonishing and full of tricks? An expert, War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North had played with quite a number of women. Sometimes, they even felt that they were experienced players. They did not expect that compared to this fellow, they were like rookies. Moreover, they were rookies that had just started. Appraise your head. The beautiful woman pretended to be angry and slapped away Yu Yang's wolf claws. She was going to pull out the I'm angry face. In the end, he couldn't hold it in. Instead, she burst out laughing, amused by Yu Yang's antics. Little flower, don't you recognize me? I'm Brother Titan. That year, you cried to marry me. How could you have forgotten? Yu Yang was very sad. This is the Southern Demon King of the Eastern Goblin tribe. Her usual identity is the Peepa Goblin General. You should have met her before when the Eastern Goblin tribe went to the Soaring Dragon continent. Elder Nangong came to the rescue and gave Yu Yang a hint. Yu Yang suddenly understood and nodded his head. Yes, we've met before. At that time, her guard dog ran into my vegetable garden and I cooked it. She came to my house to question me, but when she found out that she was in the wrong, she felt extremely guilty and decided to give her sister to me as a concubine as an apology. I reluctantly agreed at that time. I would have forgotten if you didn't mention it. Does Yu Clan's third young master always cheat others like this? Southern Demon King, who was hugging the Jade Peepa, giggled and asked. It's normal for youngsters to like beauties. If third young master could marry the Southern Goblin tribe's princess, it would be a great story in Tong Tian Tower. Black Hell King looked at Southern Demon King to see her reaction. If this Southern Demon King also supported Yu Clan's third young master, he would have another strong enemy. It's a pity that I don't have a sister. Southern Demon King's beautiful face smiled. Moreover, third young master seems to have a few fiancées. Third young master is a playboy. He would naturally have many beauties by his side. War Tiger of the East was relieved. If this Southern Demon King was secretly in love with Little Titan, she wouldn't have come to look for him in public. Previously, he heard that the Dragon Emperor was interested in taking Little Titan as his son-in-law. He even said that he was willing to marry a little princess to Yu Clan's third young master. The Eastern Goblin tribe and the Soaring Dragon continent formed an alliance. May I know why the Southern Goblin King is here? Fierce Tooth of the North pretended not to know and asked. The Dragon Emperor thought highly of Yu Yang and wanted to take him as his son-in-law. As the traitor of the Eastern Goblin tribe, the Southern Demon King naturally couldn't sit still. She had 3 options in front of her. First, she could marry him first. Second, she could make a secret agreement with Yu Yang and destroy the alliance between him and the Dragon Emperor. Third, she could become enemies with Yu Yang and join forces with stronger innate rancors to kill Yu Clan's third young master and ruin the Dragon Emperor's marriage plan. Out of these three options, the first two were the ones that the Black Hell King didn't want to see the most. This was because the Southern Demon King was so powerful that even the Dragon Emperor couldn't do anything to her. If she joined Yu Yang's camp, it would definitely increase his power. What was more terrifying was that Yu Yang could possibly mediate the battle between her and the Dragon Emperor. Even if it was temporary, it would still be very terrifying. If the Dragon Emperor and the Southern Demon King were to help Yu Yang secretly, it would have a huge impact on the entire battle. It might even be the start of Yu Yang turning the tide. If she couldn't coexist with the Dragon Emperor, she could choose the third option. That would be very beneficial to the Black Hell King. If the Southern Demon King joined the Black Hell army, it would definitely be a huge blow to the soaring dragon continent. With the Eastern Goblin tribe under her, they could restrain the Dragon Emperor from afar and heavily injure the soaring dragon de Xia, Tianluo, and the four great clans. With an ally like the Southern Demon King, the Black Hell army should try their best to win her over. Not only War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North, even the Black Hell King was thinking about it. Ever since the Southern Demon King appeared, he had been thinking of a way. Actually, I passed by the 6th floor by accident. I didn't expect to see Senior's and Yu Clan's third young master here. The Southern Demon King, who was hugging her jade, Peepa smiled. Her words didn't make the Black Hell King and the others suspicious, because intercepting Yu Yang was an idea that he came up with on the spur of the moment. It was impossible for anyone to know about it. If Elder Nan Gong came after hearing the news, then the Southern Demon King, who was always active in the 8th and 9th floor of Tong Tian Tower, couldn't have come prepared. She must have met them by chance. The Southern Demon King bowed to Elder Nan Gong and the Black Hell King again. Half a year ago, I found an ancient ruin in the 10th floor of Heaven Beyond Heaven. It must have been left behind by our seniors. It was a pity that I couldn't explore it by myself. Since I met you today, why don't we work together to search for the treasure in the ancient ruin? The 10th floor of Tong Tian Tower, Heaven Beyond Heaven. The Black Hell King muttered. What is the Heaven Beyond Heaven? Yu Yang asked like a primary school student. Little Titan, the Heaven Beyond Heaven refers to the unknown area between Tong Tian Tower and Heaven Realm. There is an extremely vast space between Tong Tian Tower and Heaven Realm. There are countless individual worlds inside, but the environment is extremely harsh. It is not suitable for survival. Forget about normal warriors. Even Supreminates would be in danger in this kind of extreme death. Elder Ningong explained. Isn't there a passage between Tong Tian Tower and Heaven Realm Gate? Yu Yang asked again. Although it is called a passage, there is no actual passage. It is just a safer path that our seniors used the blood and lives of countless people to explore. Actually, this passage needs to pass through more than 10 individual worlds. It is not a path like what we imagined. In these individual worlds, there are many unexplored dimensional spaces and shattered spaces. There are even space whirlpools that lead to unknown places. We know very little about those. However, according to the ancient records, this is the shattering void that was created during a fight between some unimaginably powerful gods during the immemorial era. Although it was repaired by the gods, the Heaven Realm that originally belonged to the 10th floor was separated from the 10th floor of Tong Tian Tower and became a new world, further and further away from the lower realm. In the end, Heaven Realm did not acknowledge the lower realm and became its own world. If warriors from the lower realm want to ascend to Heaven Realm, they must pass through the dangerous shattering void and reach the Heaven Realm Gate. Elder Nangong explained in detail. Is there no other way? Yu Yang felt that relying on the Heaven Realm Gate that opens once every 100 years was not a solution. Maybe there is. Southern Demon King revealed a piece of information. It is said that there is a heaven stairway in God's ruins that can directly ascend to Heaven Realm. It is just a legend. The heaven stairway may exist, but it is impossible for anyone to enter Heaven Realm without going through the Heaven Realm Gate. This is the rule of the immemorial era. No one can be an exception. Elder Nangong shook his head, indicating that it was ridiculous to imagine using the heaven stairway to ascend to Heaven Realm. Maybe he was purposely saying this to clarify the truth so that Fourth Mother, who who possessed the secret of the heaven stairway, could feel safer. Even if the heaven stairway cannot ascend to heaven realm, there is no harm in trying. Southern Demon King giggled and said, "Third young master, go home and ask your fourth mother. Maybe she knows." Black Hell King said to Yu Yang, "She is just an ordinary housewife who never leaves her house." Yu Yang stared coldly at Black Hell King with hidden killing intent. He warned the other party not to have any ill intentions towards fourth mother. "Don't mind him. My master is just joking. Elders usually know more secrets than juniors. Your fourth mother has read a lot of books. Maybe she knows." Let's change the topic to the Southern Border King's secret treasure. "I am most interested in the secret treasure of the ancient ruins. I will definitely go." War Tiger of the East laughed. Feng Shi is also willing to go. Fierce Tooth of the North looked at Yu Yang. If third young master is interested, then Elder Nangong is also willing to bring third young master around the 10th floor. Elder Nangong was definitely biased towards Yu Yang. Although this brat had not officially joined the innate alliance, Elder Nangong cherished talents as much as his own life. He would definitely not let Black Hell King touch Yu Yang in the 10th floor. He guessed that Yu Yang would be willing to go, so he did not wait for Yu Yang to hesitate and expressed his position first. Old Black is also curious. What kind of secret treasure could make the Southern Border King so obsessed with it? Black Hell King looked at Southern Demon King, but he still looked at Yu Yang from the corner of his eyes. If this brat didn't go, then he definitely wouldn't go. How do we split the treasures we find? Yu Yang's words made Black Hell King's heart calm down. This brat still had a thirst for treasures. It seemed that this brat realized that he was not strong enough and needed treasures to strengthen himself. With Elder Nangong Luo Yin secretly protecting him, this brat would take the risk to fight for the secret treasure with him. Most importantly, this treasure hunt would be a temporary test for Southern Demon King. She was unable to choose an ally between him and Yu Yang, so she mentioned the ancient ruins, hoping to choose a qualified ally through the treasure hunt. He had to obtain the secret treasure of the ancient ruins. Only then would he be able to convince the Southern Goblin King to form an alliance with him. On the contrary, if Yu Yang obtained the secret treasure, she would probably turn around and side with him. No matter what, Tong Tian Tower would only believe in one type of person. That was a rancor. Black Hell King looked at Yu Yang. He was determined to defeat Yu Yang and obtain the secret treasure of the ancient ruins. Conquering Long Tongue, conquering Tong Tian Tower officially began. Everything would start from defeating Yu Yang, this junior. Chapter 507. The group of people, each with their own thoughts, left the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower and headed towards the 10th floor. This was Yu Yang's most dangerous treasure hunt ever since he entered Tong Tian Tower, because his teammates were War Tiger of the East, Fierce Tooth of the North, and Black Hell King. Yu Yang knew that the three of them were always thinking of making a move. Of course, it was the same for him. If there was a chance, he would definitely make a move to trick the Black Hell King. He would definitely not miss it. The Southern Demon King, with her Jade Pipa, was neutral. His only helper was Elder Nangong. If Elder Nangong had not hinted to Yu Yang that he wanted to go, he would have politely declined such a dangerous mission. Searching for treasures with the Black Hell King was undoubtedly asking a tiger for its skin. It was extremely dangerous. Yu Yang had already been to the 7th floor of Skysplit Tower, so he didn't feel any pressure at all. The gravity in the 8th and 9th floors had increased tremendously. When they reached the 10th floor, the gravity had already reached 25 times that of the soaring dragon continent. Once they entered the realm beyond heaven, it became even more intense. It had already increased by 30 times. Even War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North had to unleash their innate level 6 and above to be able to walk smoothly. Only Elder Nangong and the Black Hell King could remain unperturbed. The Southern Demon King was able to adapt after leveling up to innate level 5. From this, it could be seen that she was stronger than War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North. No wonder Elder Nangong and the Black Hell King looked at her differently. "Are you all right?" Southern Demon King asked Yu Yang curiously. Not only her, Even Elder Nangong and the Black Hell King were curious. He clearly had the ability to resist 30 times the gravity. Why didn't he raise his cultivation to the innate realm? Yu Yang didn't reply. He was a few steps behind the rest, struggling to keep up with them. Even if he was sweating profusely from exhaustion and his muscles were trembling, he still wouldn't advance to the innate realm. The Black Hell King frowned. This brat was definitely not trying to show off. Could it be that he was pretending to be weak? No. Even if he was deliberately showing weakness, there was no reason to express it so clumsily. Did he purposely use gravity to train his body so that he could adapt to 30 times the gravity below innate realm? As the Black Hell King thought about this, he was secretly shocked. As expected of the Yu clan's third young master, this abnormal brat's way of thinking was different from normal people. Under 30 times the gravity and with a strong enemy like himself watching over him, he still had the mood to train. It seemed like he wanted to use this opportunity to break through. Such a young man must not be allowed to live. Otherwise, he would surpass him sooner or later. The more Black Hell King thought about it, the more frightened he became. About half an hour later, the sweaty Yu Yang's footsteps finally became nimble. He, who had been lagging behind, gradually caught up with the team. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North glanced at each other. Other than shock, the killing intent in their hearts also exploded. Adapting to 30 times the gravity in such a short time, he was simply inhuman. Elder Nangong did not say anything, but his eyes were filled with gratification. Seeing Yu Yang's rapid improvement and unique talent, he was even more determined to protect him. Only the Southern Demon King acted as if she didn't see anything. Realm beyond heaven. 10 minutes ago, the entire place had turned into a terrifying place. From time to time, there would be meteor showers that cut through the sky and landed on the ground. Shock waves that shook the earth and mountains came one after another. Volcanoes would erupt frequently and magma would shoot into the sky, scattering everywhere. Even though everyone was a supreme innate, they had no choice but to avoid these as they were unwilling to waste their energy to fight against the apocalypse. Moreover, compared to the most terrifying void shatterer in Realm Beyond Heaven, these were actually considered mild. We are about to enter the official area of Realm Beyond Heaven. Everyone, be careful. We may have some conflicts between us, but I hope that our main goal is to search for treasures. Everything else can wait until we get the treasures from the ancient ruins. The Southern Demon King made a statement first. Of course, since we are searching for treasures, we are willing to help each other and overcome the difficulties together. War Tiger of the East spoke on behalf of the Black Hell King. Lead the way. Yu Yang had never been to the 10th floor before. Previously, he heard from the Night Empress and the Impatiens how difficult it was to pass the 10th floor. Now he understood a little. Even before entering the official Realm Beyond Heaven, the environment was already this bad. The Shatterer in Realm Beyond Heaven, the Void Shatterer, the Southern Demon King, led everyone into a small valley surrounded by 5 active volcanoes. In the middle of a dormant volcano, there was a cliff with an ancient teleportation circle on it. This unexpected place was the teleportation point of a unit world and also the entrance to the ancient ruins. If it wasn't for the Southern Demon King leading the way, no one would have barged into this dangerous place when the volcanoes erupted. The Black Hell King frowned slightly. He had never heard of this ancient ruins. This was a very bad feeling. He thought that the place that the Southern Demon King had found was a secret treasure trove that he knew of. He didn't expect that it wasn't. Could it be that the Southern Demon King and Yu Yang had teamed up to plot against him? Would the Night Empress and Ji Zun be waiting inside to ambush him? The Black Hell King hesitated for a few seconds. When he saw that Yu Yang was secretly observing him with his guard up, he heaved a sigh of relief. If this brat really had an ambush, it would definitely not be to guard against him, but to provoke or mock him. After entering the unit world through the teleportation circle, everyone except the Southern Demon King was shocked. It was extremely hot outside, as if they were being roasted in a furnace. However, it was extremely cold in the unit world. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North, who had leveled up to innate level 6, started shivering uncontrollably. Ice started forming on their legs, turning them into ice men in the blink of an eye. Roar! War Tiger of the East unleashed his power to innate level 7 and summoned the Red Flame Tiger to protect himself. Bloodthirsty Heart Fire. Fierce Tooth of the North used his sharp claws to tear his body. The blood that seeped out turned into flames. The Southern Demon King already had a protective treasure, so she didn't have any reaction. The Black Hell King and Elder Nangong had only leveled up to innate level 1, but they were already able to withstand the cold. Of course, they all had their own holy ranked treasures to protect themselves. Leveling up to innate level 1 was mainly because they were wary of their surroundings. In this world of ice and snow, it was impossible for there to be no ancient beasts. The ancient beasts in the 10th floor of Tong Tian Tower were so strong that they could only be described as abnormal. Even if they were all gold-ranked level 10, the ancient beasts in Heaven Beyond Heaven were more than 100 times stronger than the Gold King beasts in the lower levels of Tong Tian Tower, maybe even more than 1,000 times stronger. Moreover, there weren't many gold-ranked ancient beasts in Heaven Beyond Heaven, at most platinum-ranked. If a lone innate level 8 warrior went up to Heaven Beyond Heaven and encountered a large group of ancient beasts, he would definitely die. Phew phew. Yuyang breathed out a mouthful of cold air. Both of his hands moved slowly as countless cold air surged into his body. Surprisingly, the cold air didn't freeze him into an ice sculpture. Instead, it turned into frost flowers that floated around his body, forming a 10-meter wide frost space. War Tiger of the East stretched out his hand and tried to touch one of the frost flowers. In the end, his fingers immediately turned into a huge lump of ice, shocking everyone who saw it. A murderous intent flashed across the Black Hell King's eyes as he laughed. Third young master is indeed talented. I have long heard that you're able to control Nirvana Flame, but I didn't think that you would be able to control ice so easily. Yuyang kept his mouth shut and didn't reply. He concentrated on controlling the frost space, allowing it to absorb inability and strengthen himself. Of course, this was extremely difficult. Controlling it beside the Black Hell King was like playing with his heart. As the Southern Demon King was leading the way, Elder Nangong suddenly turned around. After listening for a while, he said in a low voice, "There's an intense battle about 10 kilometers away. We can't confirm who it is, but I think that this is not a battle between ancient beasts, but an innate rancor who is in danger. Should we go and rescue them, or continue to search for treasures? With our strength, even if we can't succeed, it won't be difficult for us to escape. In the spirit of warriors helping each other, I suggest that we go and rescue them." Yuyang originally thought that the Black Hell King wouldn't agree, but who would have thought that he would nod his head cheerfully? Could it be that he wants to use the ancient beasts to test me? Laughing coldly in his heart, Yuyang also nodded his head in agreement to go and rescue them. It was still uncertain who would cause trouble for whom. The Black Hell King would definitely be fine, but would War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North be safe? Yuyang felt that this was an opportunity. As long as he could kill either War Tiger of the East or Fierce Tooth of the North, it would be equivalent to cutting off one of Black Hell King's arms. Then this risk would be worth it. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North also knew that they were the easiest to be eliminated. They immediately summoned their grimoires, summoned their guardian beasts, and leveled up to innate level 8. Go all out. The Black Hell King and Elder Nangong leveled up to innate level 5, while the Southern Demon King leveled up to innate level 7. No one was careless. This was the inner part of heaven outside heaven. Even a supreme innate who had reached innate level 10 could die. Only Yuyang stopped when he leveled up to innate level 3. Of course, his innate level 3 was equivalent to innate level 8, just that his realm was slightly lower. What's wrong with you? The Southern Demon King asked curiously. The power looks pretty good, but why are you only innate level 3? Big sister, how old do you think I am? It's already not bad if I can reach innate level 3. Yuyang replied as he slowly condensed a crystal battle armor on his body and took out the Huijin magic blade that was burning with purple flames. In this world of ice and snow, the Huijin magic blade's power was greatly reduced. The flame shrunk to a small flame. Yu Yang swung it a few times and realized that it was not powerful enough. He quickly took out the crescent moon blade. On the contrary, the crescent moon blade had the ancient rune everlasting and the heaven rune's frost and sharpness. Its power had increased by 10 times in this individual world. This was also the first time it had surpassed the Huijin magic blade. The Black Hell King snorted. He wasn't jealous of the crescent moon blade, but he hated the fact that Yu Yang was able to reach innate level 6 at innate level 1. He had never seen such an abnormal person. Innate level 1 was equivalent to other people's innate level 6. If Yu Yang could reach innate level 6, wouldn't he surpass innate and reach innate elder level 1? If Elder Nangong wasn't by his side, he would immediately kill him. Of course, even if Elder Nangong was protecting him, the Black Hell King still planned to kill him. As long as Yi Zun and Night Empress didn't ambush him, Yu Yang would be dead for sure, 10 kilometers away, in a gigantic valley of eternal glaciers. When Yu Yang and the rest arrived, they landed on top of the valley and looked down. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. In the valley, close to 100 gigantic ancient demon bears were blocking the two ends of the valley. Dozens of even larger ancient giant apes were hugging ice blocks the size of small mountains and throwing them at the innate rankers. Dozens of ice dragons were diving down continuously, spitting out extremely cold dragon breaths. What was more terrifying was that these innate rankers weren't united at all. Death was imminent, yet they were still fighting each other. This glacial valley has a restriction. Once people and beasts enter, they won't be able to fly. However, those ice dragons are an exception. The Southern Demon King's expression changed. Danger! Elder Nangong immediately jumped down after seeing the two parties fighting. Come, let's play. Yu Yang saw the Black Hell King's right palm that was about to attack. His eyes revealed a mocking smile. He somersaulted and landed in the valley. In midair, he even waved at the Black Hell King. The Black Hell King hesitated again. Forbidden Sky Law? This was his nemesis. What there was really an ambush. Chapter 508. The Winged Clan and the Eastern Goblin Tribe were fighting below. There were even human innate rankers. Yu Yang didn't know anyone from any of the forces. All he saw was that they were fighting each other and the ancient beasts were blocking the way. He was shocked. Were these guys all retarded? Did they not want to live anymore? When he landed on the ice dragon's back, he realized that there was a huge teleportation circle on the ice wall at the bottom of the valley. It was probably the entrance to a secret place. Could it be that there was another ancient ruin in this unit world? No matter what, Yu Yang realized that they were only fighting for the teleportation circle. As for the ancient beasts, they couldn't care less. Because they were not from the original world, the Wing Clan who were good at flying were at a disadvantage. Their fighting power was reduced by half. However, they had the advantage in numbers. The 20-plus Wing Clan rankers had the upper hand. Next was the Eastern Goblin Tribe. They only had 3 of them, but their fighting power was extremely strong. At least 4 or 5 Wing Clan rankers were needed to fight against one of them. The weakest were the human innates. There were 6 of them. 4 of them were level 6 innates and were all injured. The remaining 2 level 7 innates were struggling. They were invincible in the lower world. Here, the only thing they had to do was to protect themselves. Otherwise, they would be killed on the spot. Forget about the battle between the Winged Clan and the Eastern Goblin Tribe. Even the attacks from the ancient beasts were a huge threat to their lives. Luckily, the Winged Clan and the Eastern Goblin Tribe were fighting fiercely. They didn't have time to care about the 6 innate rankers. Otherwise, they would have died long ago. Nonsense. Do you think you can come to heaven beyond heaven with your strength? After Elder Nangong landed at the bottom of the valley, he summoned his grimoire and created a protective shield for the 6 innates to hide inside. He then gently emitted an irresistible force that bounced off all the ice chunks thrown by the diving ice dragon and the ancient great ape, revealing a large empty space in the middle. Although those ancient beasts weren't holy beasts, they were very smart. Seeing that they couldn't defeat an innate rancor, they quickly retreated from the battlefield. They watched from afar and waited for an opportunity. Greetings, Elder Ningong. The 6 human innates who escaped from death were overjoyed and quickly greeted Elder Ningong. Could it be that the teleportation formation here also leads to the ancient ruins? When the Southern Demon King descended, the expressions of the 3 Eastern Goblin Tribe's warriors changed immediately. This was because they were the Dragon Emperor's subordinates, and they were sworn enemies with her. Black Hell King, Shoda greets you on behalf of the 8-Winged Chief Consul. The leader of the Winged Clan was an innate level 8 rancor. When he saw the Black Hell King descending from the sky, he immediately took a few steps forward and led all the Winged Clan warriors to pay their respects to the Black Hell King. Yu Yang raised his eyebrows. He already knew about the alliance between the Black Hell King and Sky Emperor Ba Yi. This scene was completely within his expectations. Shoda, what's going on? War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North also came down. We found out about an ancient ruin and came to this glacier canyon. However, we didn't expect to meet the Eastern Goblin Tribe. They were very rude and refused to let us enter, so we started fighting. As for these ancient beasts, they came after hearing the news. They didn't seem to dare to go near the ancient teleportation formation, so luckily we didn't get surrounded. The leader of the Winged Clan, Shoda, had 4 wings on his back. He wore a gemstone armor and held a shining golden crystal sword with the characteristics of the Winged Clan. He looked extraordinarily handsome. If that's the case, let's get rid of these 3 fellows. War Tiger of the East turned to face the 3 Eastern Goblin Tribe members. Nonsense! Among the 3 Eastern Goblin Tribe members, there was a mountain-shaking bear who was an innate level 8 and 2 Thunder Gold-Eyed Leopards who were at the peak of innate level 7. They were afraid of the Black Hell King, but their expressions were resolute and brave. They immediately unleashed their full strength and prepared to fight. Even though they knew that they couldn't win, they wouldn't resign themselves to death, nor would they kneel and surrender. The Southern Demon King didn't say a word. At this moment, Yu Yang stood up and extended his hand. Wait, since we are all treasure hunters, why do we have to kill each other? A tall and hot-tempered warrior from the Winged Clan stood up and shouted, Who do you think you are? You dare to be the peacemaker? The 3 Eastern Goblin Tribe members killed 2 of my friends. If we don't kill them, we won't be able to quell the hatred in our hearts. The Winged Clan and the Eastern Goblin Tribe cannot coexist. If you insist on standing on the Eastern Goblin Tribe's side, then we will fulfill your wish and send you on your way. Yu Yang immediately spat in disdain. With just a few of you birdmen. His calling them birdmen had completely infuriated the Winged Clan. The Winged Clan hated it the most when people called them birdmen. Now that they heard Yu Yang say it in front of everyone, it was a great humiliation. They were so angry that their lungs were about to explode. The 3 Eastern Goblin Tribe members were extremely grateful for Yu Yang's words. One must know that there weren't many in this world who dared to speak up in front of the Black Hell King. The 3 of them stepped forward and stood behind Yu Yang. They were prepared to fight alongside Yu Yang. The 4-winged Shiod sized up Yu Yang. He felt that this person wasn't simple and immediately stopped his angry subordinates. He then asked War Tiger of the East confusedly, Who is this young human? You guys have all misjudged him. This is the 3rd young master of the Yu clan who has the most potential in the soaring dragon continent. He is also the little titan who successfully assassinated the Ocean Emperor Guanlon. You guys should be more respectful to him. Other than the Sky Emperor and your 3 senators, none of you are his match. War Tiger of the East seemed to be introducing Yu Yang out of goodwill, but he was actually trying to sow discord in the dark, making the Winged Clan warriors hate Yu Yang even more. I was wondering who it was, so it's Little Titan. As expected, you live up to your name. Shoda laughed coldly. Greetings to the 3rd young master of the Yu clan. The mountain-shaking bear and the 2 thunder gold-eyed leopards hurriedly greeted Yu Yang. They even bowed deeply using human etiquette. It's nothing. I have always disliked trash who bully the weak. Yu Yang's words completely offended all the Winged Clan warriors. They didn't have a good impression of Yu Yang in the first place. Now, all the Winged Clan warriors had completely sided with the Black Hell King. Elder Nangong hurried over and waved his hands. Everyone leave this place quickly. I can feel a strange noise coming from afar. If it alarmed the ancient Beast King, a fierce battle will be unavoidable. The 6 human innates also rushed to reveal the secret of the ancient teleportation circle. The leader hurriedly said, Mr. Nangong, the teleportation circle will land around the ancient ruins. It rotates at different times every day and will land in 12 different locations. If we don't enter quickly, we might land in the furthest or the most dangerous area. Before us, 2 batches of people had already entered. This is the number that we know of. There might be more. The Black Hell King looked at the Southern Demon King and saw that she was deep in thought. He then looked at Elder Nangong. Seeing that he agreed to enter immediately, he immediately signaled Elder Nangong to lead the way. Elder Nangong naturally wouldn't be the first to enter the teleportation circle. If not, it would be strange if the Black Hell King didn't attack Yu Yang. The 6 human innates were the first to enter, followed by War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North. Seeing that his subordinates had entered safely, the Black Hell King looked at Yu Yang again and disappeared into the teleportation circle. Little brat, if there are any changes to the landing point, you must be careful of the Black Hell King. This is my map. It will be valid for 3 days. After I enter, if I am closest to the north at 12 o'clock, I will wait for you at the north. If I am closest to the south at 6 o'clock, I will go to the south. Remember to meet up with me as soon as possible. Be careful. Elder Nangong took good care of Yu Yang. He originally wanted to urge Yu Yang to enter first, but after thinking about it, this brat would probably need to wait for the 3 Eastern Goblin Tribe members to enter first. It would be better for him to look after the 6 human innates, in case they were attacked by the ancient Beast King. Human innates were very rare, and those who could reach innate level 6 and above were even rarer. Every time one of them died, it would cause irreparable damage to the human continent. This was because they were at least the Heavenly Imperial Guardians, or even the Heavenly Imperial Guardians of the entire continent. Once they died, the Demon Abyss would invade unscrupulously. After Elder Nangong left, the Winged Clan members were slightly fearful. However, because of the conflict between the Southern Demon King and the 3 Eastern Goblin Tribe members, they weren't worried that Yu Yang and the 3 Eastern Goblin Tribe members would join hands and attack them. Once the battle started, the Southern Demon King would probably kill the mountain-shaking bear and the 2 thunder gold-eyed leopards. Shioda was confident that he could handle Yu Yang. After all, no matter how powerful he was still a newbie. The only problem was that he had Nirvana Flame and World Exterminating Wheel. These 2 were extremely dangerous. However, Shioda had a way to ignore Yu Yang during the battle. If he were to attack, it would cause the other party to be annihilated. He had this confidence. The Southern Demon King looked at the mountain-shaking bear and the others and asked, "We have wasted a lot of time. Can we set off now?" Yes. Yu Yang's aura instantly exploded to innate level 4. He took out his Nirvana Flame and World Exterminating Wheel at the same time and attacked the ancient teleportation circle like a madman. The ancient teleportation circle let out a deafening explosion, causing the glacier to tremble. The sound of the explosion spread across the boundless sky and the snowy ground. No one knew how far the sound traveled. The ancient teleportation circle shattered. As the Winged Clan members' expressions changed, Yu Yang stabbed the Prison Emperor's 7 stars pillar into the glacier. At the beginning, when Yu Yang destroyed the ancient teleportation circle, Shioda didn't react at all. In his eyes, there was even a hint of "you're courting death" ridicule. However, when the Prison Emperor's 7 stars pillar appeared, his expression changed immediately. The treasure that was hidden in his palm shattered with a bang, turning into countless golden lights and disappeared into the air. At this moment, a pillar of light was shot down from the sky. The Black Hell King's overbearing aura enveloped the entire area. However, when the pillar of light descended, it became distorted under the influence of the Prison Emperor's 7 stars pillar. The Black Hell King stretched out his hand with the intention of tearing the space apart. However, it was to no avail. He let out a terrifying roar unwillingly. The pillar of light disappeared and the teleportation failed. The Black Hell King's image disappeared. Yu Yang leisurely picked at his ears and brought his little finger to his mouth to blow lightly, as if there was a big piece of ear scraps that he could blow away. He then turned to Shioda, whose face was filled with shock, and said indifferently, "I say, my birdman friend, can I trouble you not to whisper so loudly next time? Don't you know how irritating it is to hear such boring whispers? If you want to kill me, just do it directly. Why do you have to waste so much effort? Do you think that you can kill me just by giving the Black Hell King your coordinates and letting him teleport back? You guys are already hundreds or even thousands of years old. How can you still be so naive?" Southern Demon King also laughed and clapped her hands. "Another good show to watch. This is great. The three of you go and bite them to death." The three Eastern Goblin tribesmen shot towards the Winged Clan warriors like arrows released from a bow. Shioda suddenly realized, "You guys are in cahoots." "That's right." The Southern Goblin King smiled lightly. "You idiots. Do you think that just because I'm the traitor king of the Eastern Goblin tribe, I'm destined to be enemies with the Dragon Emperor? Even if I'm the traitor king, it's impossible for me to help outsiders to kill our people. Of course, this is just an act for you to see. Because if we, the Eastern Goblin tribe, do not do this, we will definitely become the strongest and most threatening competitor of all the races in Tong Tian Tower. We will become the enemy of all the races. We need to create a small disturbance to make people think that we are a divided race and are not a threat. Looking at your expressions, I can tell that our plan is working well. Bah, Chief Consul, he will take revenge for us." Shioda shouted in exasperation. Yes, these last words are very pleasant to hear. Although Yu Yang and the Southern Goblin King had never fought side by side before, they were very well coordinated at this moment. In an instant, they appeared in front of Shioda at the same time. The world-exterminating wheel and the sharp demonic sound of 5 fingers playing the jade pipa simultaneously attacked Shioda, the leader of the Winged Clan. Chapter 509. Ding, ding, ding. A few extremely sharp sound from the pipa pierced into the ears of the leader of the Winged Clan. Shioda's entire body shook, as if he had been struck by lightning. Even with the protection of energy, his ears could not withstand the demonic sound. In an instant, his ears exploded and blood spurted out. Time seemed to have frozen. Shioda floated in the air, motionless, while Yu Yang stared at him coldly. Little Wen Li's binding inherent skill could even trap an innate rancor like Guanlan, let alone Shioda. Under the influence of the demonic sound, Shioda's mind trembled, his mind was in chaos, and he had no ability to resist. "I'll kill you." Yu Yang had always been an honest and straightforward person. His first move was to kill. The Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus and the Arctic Frost Flower, one on the left and one on the right, attacked Shioda's body under Yu Yang's control. Although the power of the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus was not as strong as the Arctic Frost Flower in this unit world, its impact on one's mind was not reduced at all. Even the Southern Demon King, who was behind Shioda, felt as if the entire sky was pressed down by a giant hand, almost suffocating. And this was outside of the attack. She could not imagine how much pain Shioda, who had no defense, would feel after being hit by Yu Yang head-on. The shockwave spread out, and the sky on both sides seemed to be cut in half by the giant cold blade. One side became a blazing hell, and the other a freezing hell. All the Winged Clan members rolled on the ground in pain. Even the valiant mountain-shaking bear and thunder gold-eyed leopard had to support themselves with their hands to barely withstand the power of the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus. The distant ancient giant ape, ancient demon bear, and ice dragon all fled. They were so weak that they even lay on the ground, letting out weak cries. They no longer had the arrogance of the ancient beasts. Boom! Shioda was hit. Half of his body was scorched, and the other half was covered in frost. Yu Yang didn't show any mercy to the miserable Shioda. He heavily kicked Xiao Da's chest, and purple lightning ruthlessly bombarded Xiao Da's heart. Without the body of the ancient titan, Wu Su, and in a state of restriction, not to mention a winged clan leader who had just reached innate level 8, even the strongest warrior in the winged clan, Sky Emperor Ba Yi, would be heavily injured and fall to the ground. Without the need for the Southern Demon King to attack again, Yu Yang spun and beheaded Shioda, who had lost his ability to fight, with a world-exterminating wheel. So fast, the Southern Demon King finally understood why the Black Hell King was so afraid of this young man. It was because he would turn into the most terrifying god of death once he had the chance to kill someone instantly. If it was an opponent of the same strength, Shioda would probably be able to hold on for half an hour, even if he couldn't win. However, when faced with Yang, Shioda was instantly killed on the spot without being able to counterattack or even react. Shioda was a winged clan ranker who had already reached innate level 8. He was ranked top 5 in the entire winged clan. Who would have thought that he would be killed by Yu Yang effortlessly? This was the power of the Yu clan's third young master. This was also the reason why the Black Hell King was afraid of him. The Southern Demon King also knew that this wasn't Yu Yang's full strength. He still had the Nirvana Flame and the terrifying sword Qi that he hadn't used yet. Otherwise, Shioda would be defeated even faster and more thoroughly. Yu Yang kept Shioda's corpse. To him, the corpse of an innate level 8 ranker was a rare fertilizer, so he couldn't waste it. The crescent moon roared and raised high in his hand, unleashing a devastating attack. First slash, earth-splitting slash. Ding, ding, ding. The Southern Demon King's long hair danced in the wind as she flashed behind Yu Yang, using her demonic voice to boost his power. Her jade-like fingers danced in the air as the wheel sweeping flew. The demonic voice pierced the ears from afar, while the sharp blade slashed wildly from close range. There was the heavens' fury fire, lotus above, and the freezing frost below. The most tragic thing was that the Glacier Canyon had a special law that forbade flying. It was simply a nightmare for the Winged Clan. Under the situation where they couldn't escape, the Winged Clan rankers whose minds were disturbed gathered their strength to defend against Yu Yang's first slash, earth-splitting slash. Rumble. A few of the weakest Winged Clan rankers vomited blood as their internal organs were injured by Yu Yang's blade aura. Yu Yang, who was shot into the sky, borrowed the pressure from the law to increase his speed towards the glacier. Yu Chio's self-created Armageddon slash, second slash, heaven and earth collapse. It exploded in his hands. The power of Yu Chio's self-created ultimate move coupled with Yu Yang's understanding and revision was absolutely earth-shattering. The unstoppable slash was unstoppable. All the Winged Clan rankers gathered their giant swords together, but they still couldn't defend against Yu Yang's heavy slash. The giant sword shattered and the surrounding Winged Clan rankers were all sent flying into the glacier, vomiting blood. A few of them who were heavily injured even vomited pieces of their internal organs on the spot. This showed how terrifying the power of the blade aura was. The Winged Clan ranker who was standing at the front was cut in half by Yu Yang. Seeing such power, the Southern Demon King couldn't help but be shocked. It wasn't that she hadn't seen powerful ultimate moves before, but she had never seen a platinum-ranked weapon that had the power of a holy ranked artifact. In the same realm, if it was just based on the aura and power, the Southern Demon King believed that it was Yu Yang without a doubt. Not to mention that this brat had hidden his true strength. Just the power of innate level 3 or innate level 8 that he showed on the surface was far beyond innate level 8 rankers like Shioda. Even innate level 9 Shun Tian and the Black Prince might not have such power. Again, Yu Yang jumped with all his might again. Under the Forbidden Space Law, he could jump up to a height of 100 meters. If it was the Southern Demon King, she would also sigh that she couldn't do it. The third slash, Lord of Rivers and Mountains. After the first two slashes, Yu Yang decided to finish off his opponent in one go, in case anything unexpected happened. The third slash would be 10 times more powerful than the first two slashes. Yu Yang believed that after this slash, no one would be able to survive. At the entrance of a faraway valley, a terrifying whirlwind that looked like a snow dragon, 100 times faster than lightning, swept across the ground. Yu Yang slashed down from the sky. When all the Wing Clan warriors closed their eyes and waited for their deaths, the snow dragon had already surpassed the shockwave in sound, arriving one step ahead of them. In the snowstorm, a tall figure with wings on its back stretched out a hand and blocked Yu Yang's earth-shattering slash. The golden palm and crescent moon collided silently. However, an instant later, with the collision at the center, it was as if the universe had exploded. The entire space seemed to shatter, and the spherical shockwave spread rapidly before the sound could be heard. The mountains, ice walls, ground, and valleys all trembled and collapsed under the shockwave. The ice dragon that was circling high in the sky didn't even have time to spread its wings before it was engulfed by the shockwave and snow. The ancient giant ape and ancient demon bear couldn't even stand properly, and both of them rolled on the ground. The only one who could still stand still was the Southern Demon King. Even though she was protected by the Jade Pipa, she still slid back 3 meters. She didn't stay still at the same time. The mountain-shaking flying bear retreated deep into the ice wall, while the lightning gold-eyed leper brothers were nowhere to be seen. They were probably at least 200 meters away. The Wing Clan members on the ground weren't sent flying. An energy shield protected them. This energy shield came from the mysterious person's left hand, which was facing downwards, while his right hand, which was facing upwards, was still defending against the crescent moon blade that could cut through metal like mud. Yu Yang unleashed his strength, but the crescent moon didn't slash the mysterious person's palm. Instead, it was sent flying. When he flipped over, the impact dissipated and he slowly landed. Only then did he realize that there was a powerful Wing Clan member with 8 wings on his back. The mysterious person was tall and slender, about 2 meters tall. His legs were exceptionally long, and he was extremely handsome. His skin was smooth and white, and he looked like a woman. He had 8 wings on his back, and his snowy feathers fluttered even though there was no wind. Other than a crystal sword with a 7-colored gemstone hanging on his waist, the person didn't have any other weapons. He wasn't even wearing any armor. Just now, he had used his body's defense to block Yu Yang's 3rd slash, master of the rivers and mountains. He even had the energy to release an energy shield to protect his subordinates. Such a powerful person. Who exactly was he? The Southern Demon King's expression changed when she saw the person. Of course, she knew who this 8-winged warrior who looked like a woman was. She just didn't expect him to appear here, and coincidentally in this glacier valley. So, it's the Sky Emperor. Greetings to your majesty, Sky Emperor Ba-E. The Southern Demon King's expression returned to normal as she smiled and greeted the person. You're here too? The Sky Emperor Ba-E was a little surprised to see the Southern Demon King. It seemed that this was different from the information he received. However, he returned the greeting politely and looked at Yu Yang. He asked even though he already knew the answer. Who is this young man? I don't know why he would kill the warriors who persecuted the Angel Clan so crazily. Are you trying to bully the Guangming continent? Your Majesty, this is the 3rd young master of the Yu clan in the Soaring Dragon continent. He is also the famous little titan in the Tong Tian Tower. The Southern Demon King introduced him to the Sky Emperor Ba-E. Even if you're the famous little titan, you can't kill people for no reason, right? The Sky Emperor Ba-E asked coldly. What do you mean by killing people for no reason? Sky Emperor, although you're one of the 5 emperors of the Tong Tian Tower, you can't slander me. Yu Yang laughed out loud as he pointed at a Wing Clan warrior under Ba-Yi's feet with his crescent moon. They stole my divine equipment and swallowed my 4 symbols pearl in broad daylight. Everyone has the right to punish them. Could it be that you want to use your power to protect your clan, while I, a weak junior, can only suffer in secret and not even have the right to pursue the treasures? There is righteousness in the world. Sky Emperor, if you want to protect the criminals, just say it. If you use force to bully me, I'll leave immediately. The Winged Clan warrior who was pointed at by Yu Yang with his crescent moon was so angry that he vomited blood on the spot. The Southern Demon King also pretended that she didn't know him. She had seen shameless people before, but she had never seen such a shameless person. He was the one who killed them and stole their treasures, but he still tried to frame them. It was no wonder that the other party vomited blood out of anger. The Sky Emperor was so angry that he started laughing. All right, so that's the truth. Little Titan, if my people were to steal your divine equipment and 4 symbols pearl, bah, you would definitely kill them personally to clear the name of the Angel Clan in the Guangming continent. If they did not steal your divine equipment and 4 symbols pearl, what would happen if I found out that you were the one who slandered me and framed me? Would you let me kill you in front of the formation to clear the reputation of the Angel Clan? Yu Yang shrugged his shoulders. Hurry up and investigate. They even stole my god's blood and martial soul. Make them spit it out now. The Southern Demon King was speechless. It was already exaggerated enough to say that he stole the divine equipment and 4 symbols pearl, but he even said that he stole the god's blood and martial soul. Even if he was bragging, he shouldn't have bragged so much. How is he going to justify himself later on? She poked Yu Yang's back with her fair finger and urged him using telepathy. Idiot, run away. Why are you still talking nonsense with that Birdman? He is obviously trying to stall for time. If you don't run away now, it will be too late. A mysterious smile flashed across Yu Yang's eyes. He replied to the Southern Demon King. You can't just run away randomly. You have to look for the right timing. In the sky, a huge black figure that looked like a demon dragon descended from the sky. It was the Black Hell King. He greeted Yu Yang with an unusually gentle and courteous voice. Don't be afraid, third young master. I am here to uphold justice for you. Brother Sky Emperor should at least give me some face. If it was really his people who stole your divine equipment, he will definitely seek justice for third young master. This time, the Southern Demon King was speechless again. She really wanted to say, Black Hell King, you and the Sky Emperor call each other brothers so intimately. The only thing missing is that you guys are in an alliance. You want to uphold justice? Now she understood. Not only did the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor have an affair, his reaction was also extremely fast. He immediately found an opportunity to cause trouble for Yu Yang. Next, she didn't know how Yu Yang would react. It was highly likely that he would escape. But how would he escape? Suddenly, the Southern Demon King became curious. She wanted to see how Yu Yang would react next. How would he react? Chapter 510. Since the Black Hell King is the judge, that's for the best. The Sky Emperor brushed his long hair behind his ear and asked Yu Yang, before we investigate, we need to confirm one thing. Does Yu Clan's third young master have a divine equipment? If you have never had a divine equipment, then it can prove that my subordinates did not steal your divine equipment. Because no one can steal a divine equipment that doesn't exist. The divine equipment chooses its owner. Maybe a genius like Third Young Master would have a divine equipment in his hands. The Black Hell King and Sky Emperor echoed each other. Come on, take out the divine equipment, and we will admit that we stole it from you. A few Winged Clan's warriors provoked arrogantly. They thought that the divine equipment wasn't something that could be bought from a street stall. Even the Sky Emperor and the Black Hell King didn't have one, so Yu Clan's third young master definitely wouldn't have one. They could force him to take it out now. If he didn't, it would be slander. Then the Sky Emperor and the Black Hell King could use this as a pretext to attack. Southern Demon King's gaze turned cold. The Black Hell King was right about the divine equipment choosing its owner. A divine equipment couldn't be stolen. The divine equipment had its own intelligent spirit. Even if it was stolen, it would easily return to its owner. Other than being recognized by the divine equipment, a warrior couldn't steal the divine equipment using external forces. There were 3 points in the Sky Emperor's accusation. First, Yu Yang didn't have a divine equipment. If he didn't have one, then Bai Yi's clansmen wouldn't steal his divine equipment. Yu Yang was intentionally slandering them. Second, even if Yu Yang had a divine equipment, others wouldn't be able to steal it. Yu Yang's words were still slander. Third, other than rebuking Yu Yang, the Sky Emperor's question was also a clever test. If Yu Yang couldn't prove that he had a divine equipment, then other than slandering the Winged Clan and challenging the Sky Emperor's authority, he would also let the Sky Emperor and the Black Hell King know his background. If he didn't have a divine equipment, Yu Yang's life wouldn't be guaranteed. The Sky Emperor and the Black Hell King could use this as a pretext to attack. The Southern Demon King knew that the Sky Emperor was not to be trifled with. However, he did not expect that he would be so difficult to deal with. Not only did he successfully counterattack, he even managed to force Yu Yang into a corner. Since you have the divine equipment in your hands, why don't the Yu Clan third young master show us the divine equipment and let us broaden our horizons? Here, not only me, I believe the king of the southern wilderness has also admired the divine weapon for a long time. The Sky Emperor looked at the Southern Demon King. He and the Black Hell King had the intention to kill Yu Yang, but they weren't sure what the Southern Demon King was thinking. If it was someone else, the Sky Emperor would not be too concerned about it. However, it just had to be the Southern Demon King who was an expert in using demonic tunes to kill. It was best not to provoke her. Is that so? Third young master has a divine weapon? I've never seen a divine artifact before. Southern Demon King's words made the Sky Emperor and Black Hell King relax. This woman was very smart. She would not help either side. Of course, it was already very good to have this result. If the Southern Demon King was charmed by the Yu Clan third young master's charm and sacrificed herself to protect him, the Yu Clan third young master might really escape. If that was the case, it would be very troublesome in the future. Jizun, that terrifying woman, would kill her way to the Guangming continent or destroy the Black Hell army. If it wasn't for their concerns, the Sky Emperor and Black Hell King would have already made their move. The Southern Demon King remained neutral on the surface, but she secretly sent a message to Yu Yang. Idiot, why aren't you running? If you delay any longer, the Black Hell King's helpers will return. Maybe the Emperor of the Underworld will also join in. At that time, forget about running, you might not even be able to keep your life. As if he didn't hear the Southern Demon King's secret message, Yu Yang slowly reached into his clothes. His action made the Black Hell King and Sky Emperor nervous. They felt that this brat was going to crush the teleportation crystal and escape. They were secretly on guard and prepared to intercept him. Unexpectedly, Yu Yang took out a rainbow-colored seal. Divine equipment? My family has never been short of these things. Once the seal appeared, the sky above the glacier canyon seemed to be pressed down by an invisible hand of God. No life could move. Those ice dragons that could fly, even under the law of forbidden space, fell straight down the moment they drilled out of the ice and snow. They were completely unable to resist the power of this pressure. If the pressure of Yu Yang's Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus was compared to the pressure of this seal, the pressure of the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus was like a small sailboat, while the pressure of this seal was like a 10,000-ton ship. Although they both had the same power of pressure, they were not on the same level. Most importantly, the pressure of this seal contained an irresistible sealing power. Not to mention the ancient great ape, ancient demon bear, and ice dragon. Even the Sky Emperor and Black Hell King had the urge to escape in fear. They felt an uncontrollable fear towards this kind of pressure and sealing power. Especially the Black Hell King, who was a has-been prison emperor divine general. He was the clearest about what kind of treasure the seal in Yu Yang's hands was. This was the prison emperor divine seal that he feared the most. Compared to the prison emperor divine sword and prison emperor divine staff, the Black Hell King was more afraid of the prison emperor divine seal. This was because if he was defeated by the former two, he might still be able to survive. If he was defeated by the prison emperor divine seal, then what awaited him would be complete death, or perhaps being sealed forever. Prison Emperor Divine Seal. Have you entered the Prison Emperor Divine Palace before? The Black Hell King's heart sank. If Yu Yang inherited the Prison Emperor Divine Sword and Prison Emperor Divine Staff, and grew rapidly, becoming the new Prison Emperor was just around the corner, then he, the traitor, would be in danger. Is it really a divine equipment? The Sky Emperor's pupils contracted continuously. He never thought that Yu Yang could really take out a divine equipment. Furthermore, it seemed to be a divine equipment of the highest grade. The ancient beasts in the distance had already knelt on the ground. Under the pressure and intimidation of the divine equipment, they didn't dare to move at all. Behind the Sky Emperor Ba-E, the winged clan warriors who had regained their arrogance swallowed their saliva in fear and greed. The legendary divine equipment was right in front of them, almost within their reach, but they couldn't obtain it. How could this make them go crazy? The worst thing was that they had previously said that if the other party took out the divine equipment, they would admit to stealing. What should they do now? The Southern Demon King was also stunned. She only reacted after a long while. She despised the greedy expressions of the winged clan warriors. Not to mention that they didn't have the strength. They didn't deserve to own a divine equipment. Even if Yu Yang gave the divine equipment to them, they would never be able to obtain it. A divine equipment had a spirit, and it would choose its own master. It would never choose a weakling as its master. She could somewhat guess what was in Yu Yang's mind when he took out the divine equipment. Firstly, it was to calm himself down. Secondly, it was to attack the enemy. He took out the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. To the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor, it was undoubtedly a slap in the face. The Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor, who were in cahoots with each other, would secretly split up because of the appearance of the divine equipment. It would be fine if the divine equipment had chosen its master, but it didn't. This meant that both the Sky Emperor and the Black Hell King had a chance to gain its favor. The Prison Emperor Divine Seal was the best treasure for both the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor. Even 1,000 years, or even 10,000 years, they wouldn't be able to find a better treasure than this. Killing Yu Yang and obtaining the Divine Seal was a certainty. The problem was, who would the Divine Seal belong to? The Black Hell King would only agree to the Divine Seal belong to the Sky Emperor unless he was an idiot. The Sky Emperor's strength was originally not comparable to the Black Hell King's. If the Black Hell King obtained the Divine Seal, then the Guangming continent would become the Black Hell King's backyard, and the Sky Emperor would become the Black Hell King's prisoner instead of an ally. One Prison Emperor Divine Seal, two competitors, how would they split it? Moreover, the Yu clan's third young master wasn't made of tofu. Although the Prison Emperor Divine Seal hadn't recognized him as its master, the Prison Emperor Divine Staff and Divine Sword were two great divine equipment, so it was hard to guarantee that they had recognized him as their master. Southern Demon King finally understood why this brat didn't run away, but stayed behind to play tricks with the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor. It turned out that he really had the strength to do so. Thinking of this, she smiled and took 2 steps forward, adding fuel to the fire in this tense situation. Yo, is this a divine equipment? Such a beautiful treasure. Does third young master have any extra at home? Give me one. When she said that, the Sky Emperor and the Black Hell King knew that something was wrong. Once the divine equipment appeared, the Eastern Goblin tribe's Demonis was a little tempted. Indeed, if the combination of a handsome young man and a high-quality divine equipment couldn't mesmerize a woman, then there was nothing else that could tempt a woman. I'm not giving it to you, Fourth Mother said, to keep all the treasures at home for my wife. Yu Yang expressed that these were all betrothal gifts for his wife. Stingy, Southern Demon King pretended to pout coquettishly as she stretched out her fair hand and hit him lightly. The Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor looked at each other. They would definitely snatch it, but the problem was how to snatch it. Also, if they snatched it now, the Southern Demon King would definitely help the Yu clan's third young master. This was undoubtedly an unwise move. The Sky Emperor felt that his stomach was filled with jealousy. He opened his mouth to retaliate against Yu Yang, secretly feeling pleased with himself. He felt that he would definitely be able to take down this young brat who was still young. He didn't expect the other party to have an even more beautiful face-slapping counterattack. Not only did he suffer a setback, he also allowed the other party to sow discord between him and the Black Hell King. Although the Black Hell King was an ally, he definitely couldn't let him have this kind of high-quality divine equipment. Similarly, he wouldn't let him have it either. Therefore, no matter what happens in the future, at least for now, this brat's method of splitting the alliance was successful. The Sky Emperor wouldn't trust the Black Hell King 100% in their upcoming cooperation, and the Black Hell King wouldn't trust him 100% either. All of this was because of the Prison Emperor Divine Seal that Yu Yang had conjured. The Sky Emperor would rather Yu Yang never took out the Prison Emperor Divine Seal. If that was the case, then the Sky Emperor wouldn't be suspicious of his cooperation with the Black Hell King even before it started. Let me touch this divine seal, I'll just touch it. The Southern Demon King wanted to touch it, but Yu Yang didn't allow it. No, I'll let a few birdmen steal my Prison Emperor Divine Staff just now. If I lose the Prison Emperor Divine Seal now, it would be terrible. If the little girl at home wants to eat roasted chestnuts in the future, there wouldn't be anything left to smash. Yu Yang's words almost made the Sky Emperor and the Black Hell King vomit blood. Using the Prison Emperor Divine Seal to smash chestnuts, could this brat do something even more painful? We didn't steal it. The few winged clan birdmen were about to cry. They had never heard of the Prison Emperor Divine Staff. Moreover, a divine equipment had a spirit. How could they steal it? Yu Clan's third young master had wronged them too much. If this continued, they reckoned that Yu Clan's third young master would make them vomit out their divine blood and martial souls. At that time, they wouldn't be able to find a rope even if they wanted to hang themselves. Moreover, they even said that if the other party had a divine equipment, they would admit to stealing. The few birdmen immediately fell to the ground and pretended to faint. Who? The Black Hell King suddenly roared angrily as he looked towards the northwest sky. Yu Clan's third young master, you are indeed a genius that only appears once in 10,000 years in Tong Tian Tower. I never thought that you would have so many rare divine equipment in your family. From high up in the sky, a man whose figure couldn't be seen clearly slowly floated down. The image on his body moved slightly, as if he was greeting the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor. He also greeted the Yu Clan and the Southern Demon King. I am Yu Ming. I have also admired Third Young Master for a long time. Seeing you today, you are indeed a dragon amongst men. The Black Hell King is the judge. Yu Ming and the Southern Demon King are also willing to bear witness. Sky Emperor, if it is true that your subordinate stole Third Young Master's divine equipment, it would tarnish the name of the Guangming continent. Why don't you let your subordinate return the divine equipment to Third Young Master? When the Sky Emperor Ba Yi saw this person, his expression immediately changed. Chapter 511. This person who called himself Hades was one of the 5 emperors of Tong Tian Tower, the Emperor of the Underworld, on par with the Sky Emperor and the Ocean Emperor. The Emperor of the Underworld was a very mysterious, innate expert. It was said that his father was originally a ranker from the Demon Abyss. 2,000 years ago, he came to the Dark Night continent in the 9th floor of Tong Tian Tower and settled there. He married a wife and had children. After the Emperor of the Underworld was born, he was extremely talented and far surpassed his parents. In the end, he became the strongest person in the Dark Night continent and even became one of the 5 emperors of Tong Tian Tower. This was because the Dark Night continent and the Guangming continent, which were both hostile forces on the 9th floor, would often go to war. When the Emperor of the Underworld was still young, his father had unfortunately died in battle. Although he wasn't killed by the Sky Emperor Ba Yi, the Emperor of the Underworld and the Sky Emperor were mortal enemies. Although the Emperor of the Underworld did not have the confidence to kill the Sky Emperor, they would never be on the same side. As long as the Sky Emperor agreed, he would definitely oppose it. As long as it made the Sky Emperor sad, he would do his best to achieve it. For example, he could use Yu Yang to give the Sky Emperor a tight slap. Although the Emperor of the Underworld didn't know that the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor had joined hands to plot against Yu Yang, and he also didn't know why Yu Yang didn't leave after falling into the trap, and even took out his divine equipment, it didn't stop him from temporarily supporting Yu Yang to embarrass the Sky Emperor. So, it's the Emperor of the Underworld. Welcome. The Black Hell King appeared to be courteous, but he sighed in his heart. Now that the Emperor of the Underworld was here, it would be even more difficult to kill Yu Yang. As long as the Emperor of the Underworld kept the Sky Emperor occupied, it would not be easy for him to kill Yu Yang in front of the Southern Demon King. Moreover, Yu Yang was not a simple character. If they were to make a move now, they would be pushing the neutral Emperor of the Underworld and the Southern Demon King to Yu Yang's side. Yu Yang must have obtained the Prison Emperor Divine Seal for a long time. As long as he didn't receive the recognition of the divine equipment, Yu Yang would still have a chance. The Black Hell King was depressed, but he endured it. Sky Emperor Ba, he was also depressed. He felt that not only did he not get to eat the lamb this time, but he also got himself into trouble. If he had known that the Emperor of the Underworld had been following him, he wouldn't have needed to show himself. Or he could have remained neutral after he showed himself and not fall out with Yu Yang. He could have only sent the Black Hell King to negotiate with Yu Yang. Now he had become the bad guy. He had provoked an enemy with limitless potential who could improve at lightning speed. Not only did he not gain any benefits, he even let the Emperor of the Underworld laugh at him. Let's go. The Sky Emperor was too ashamed to stay any longer and prepared to leave the Glacier Canyon with his subordinates. Wait, the Black Hell King naturally wouldn't let the Sky Emperor leave just like that. He had a rope in this ally. Since he couldn't get the Prison Emperor Divine Seal, then there was still value in roping in the Sky Emperor. He sent a sound transmission to the Sky Emperor and secretly discussed a few things. On the surface, he also said, "The king of the southern wilderness explored the ancient ruins left behind by the predecessors. We were fated to meet here. Why would we travel together to explore the void?" Seeing that the Southern Demon King didn't have any intention to reject him, he felt that this woman was really smart. She didn't express her stand at all. She didn't help the Yu clan's third young master, nor did she open her mouth to help him. She only watched the show. The Black Hell King looked at Yu Yang and the Emperor of the Underworld as if nothing had happened. He invited the two of them in a cultured manner. If there really is a secret treasure, let's see who is fated to obtain it. His words caused the Sky Emperor to ponder secretly. Even if there weren't any treasures in the ancient ruins, killing the Yu clan's third young master and obtaining the Prison Emperor Divine Seal would be worth it. If he left with hatred, then the divine equipment would leave him and he would never be able to obtain it. In the end, the Sky Emperor decided to stay. As a witness, Yu Ming is very willing to go together. Maybe the Sky Emperor is fated to obtain another divine equipment and give it to the Yu clan's third young master. The Emperor of the Underworld didn't forget to ridicule the Sky Emperor. Yu Yang didn't say a word and kept the Prison Emperor Divine Seal slowly. No one could guess what the Yu clan's third young master was thinking. Why didn't he run away and instead showed the Prison Emperor Divine Seal to others? It was precisely because they couldn't guess his thoughts that the Black Hell King and the others felt that this young man was terrifying. There were many legends about the Yu clan's third young master, but after seeing him today, they knew that his actions were different from ordinary people. With such strength and intelligence, it was no wonder that he could even kill the Ocean Emperor Guanlon. The Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor secretly looked at each other. Seeing Yu Yang's extremely calm behavior, they felt a chill down their spines. There had never been a young man who could give them such a deterrent. This Yu clan's third young master was extremely dangerous. The Black Hell King made up his mind that when he found the opportunity, he would kill him as fast as possible to get rid of this huge threat. If he didn't find the best opportunity, he would kill Yu Yang before he left heaven beyond heaven. He definitely couldn't let this brat leave heaven beyond heaven alive. Otherwise, once he matured, the one who would fail in the end would most likely be him. Seniors and third young master who has a house full of divine equipment. Why don't we head to the ancient ruins to take a look? I don't want divine equipment that can be used to smash chestnuts. Being able to obtain a holy ranked treasure is already my limit. The Southern Goblin King lightly smiled. Her slender, jade-like hands lightly waved on the pipa, and the music sounded out like pearls falling onto a jade plate. It was pleasing to the ears, causing one to be intoxicated and feel extremely refreshed. The Southern Demon King opened her mouth to expel the mountain-shaking bear and the lightning gold-eyed leopard brothers. The Sky Emperor also quickly ordered his tribesmen, who pretended to faint to leave. The Glacier Canyon's teleportation circle had already been destroyed by Yu Yang previously. It couldn't be repaired. Fortunately, the Southern Demon King knew of another teleportation circle. As she led the way, she asked Yu Yang many questions along the way. Her attitude had changed a lot. The Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor knew that something was wrong. It seemed that the Southern Demon King was still a little interested in Yu Yang. After all, He was a handsome guy with a divine equipment. However, they couldn't stop the two from communicating and developing. The best solution now was to join hands and kill Yu Yang after entering the ancient ruins. If Yu Yang got both the beauty and the treasures of the ancient ruins, then the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor, who accompanied him the whole time, would be in deep trouble. Along the way, they were secretly communicating. They were planning on how to join hands and kill Yu Yang. The Emperor of the Underworld followed behind without saying a word. However, the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor were sure that if the situation was bad, the Emperor of the Underworld would be the first to attack. Moreover, the first target would definitely be the Sky Emperor. After walking for another 100 kilometers, they passed through the teleportation circle and entered the ancient ruins. Yu Yang suddenly realized that the real test had just begun. Moreover, the environment was extremely harsh, and it wasn't any weaker than the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor's threat. The ancient ruins were also located in an unimaginably huge glacier canyon. It was estimated that the glacier canyon that was tens of kilometers long was not even 1/100th of it. Looking at the sky, the top of the glacier canyon could not be seen. Looking at the opposite side, it was estimated that the other cliff that covered the sky was at least 100 kilometers away. If one were to look at the opposite side, they would realize that in the faraway horizon, there was a snow-white silver river that covered the sky. It stood tall and straight into the clouds. The viciousness of the glacier canyon was a ghastly sight. Countless tornadoes continuously descended from the clouds, sucking in the ice and snow on the ground. The frozen ground would also explode for no reason, and a terrifying ice storm would erupt like a volcano. Billions of ice crystals and springs shot towards the sky with boundless power. Those who were hit would probably suffer the same consequences as if they were hit by a peak innate level 10 supreme innate. Even the Black Hell King, who was fully equipped with holy ranked equipment, was very wary of the ice crystal storm that shot out like a spring. What was even more terrifying was the strange space shattering. Yu Yang's heaven eyes divine vision couldn't see why it was like this. Without any warning, the sky instantly shattered. In the shattered space, any substance would disintegrate, turning into ashes. This was the most famous and terrifying scene of the shattering void in heaven beyond heaven. Luckily, the ancient teleportation circle that the Southern Demon King discovered was not damaged at all. Unlike the previous one, its teleportation range was fixed. Yu Yang, the Southern Demon King, the Emperor of the Underworld, the Sky Emperor, and the Black Hell King all landed in the same area, not too far away from each other. With the Southern Demon King here, Yu Yang and the rest were safe. Yu Yang saw the Black Hell King waiting for an opportunity to attack a few times, especially when the shattering void appeared. But as long as Yu Yang turned around to look at him, the old man would pretend to be innocent. The only thing missing was a sticker on his forehead that said, "I will never sneak attack you." What is that? Yu Yang saw a huge tornado pillar spinning endlessly in the distance. He asked curiously, "Could that be the entrance to the ancient ruins?" We have not reached the real entrance yet. The real entrance to the ancient ruins is even scarier. The shattering void could be seen at any time. If an innate level 8 were to encounter an ice crystal fountain or the shattering void, they would be instantly killed. Even if they were to defend with all their might, they would still be in grave danger if they were to get hit. The Southern Demon King had already leveled up to innate level 8. It seemed that she still had the energy to level up to innate level 9. This Pipa Demonis abilities were indeed hidden. She was comparable to the impatience from before. Third Young Master seems to have an innate ability to control fire and ice. You are indeed a genius. The Black Hell King said indifferently. I can't be compared to the Black Hell King's innate thick skin and impervious to fire and water. Yu Yang retorted on the spot. The Black Hell King did not get angry and just laughed. In terms of endurance, the Black Hell King was the strongest enemy that Yu Yang had ever met in his life. If it was someone else, they would definitely not be able to withstand such a sharp and bitter verbal attack. As an innate Elder Ranker, not only did he have a full set of holy ranked weapons, he even had allies by his side. The Black Hell King was able to endure Yu Yang's provocation. This showed how scheming he was. After walking for a few kilometers, there was a fallen tree in front of them. There was also a small amount of ice fragments. It was estimated that an innate rancor was hit by the ice crystal fountain. When he fell, his head, neck, and half his chest were smashed, leaving only his waist and 2 legs. Help! A black figure escaped from the edge of the never-ending tornado and ran towards Yu Yang in a sorry state. However, before Yu Yang and the rest could see the situation clearly, a huge ancient ice demon king appeared behind them. It was 50 to 60 meters tall and held a long and curved ice blade in its hand. It chased after them with a violent ice crystal tornado. When Yu Yang saw it, he immediately took out his Hui Jin magic blade. However, the Southern Demon King raised her hand to stop him. This ancient ice demon king should be the guardian of the secret passage. It will only chase and kill people who trespass without permission. It will not attack us. If we attack, it is possible that all the guardians will be mobilized. At that time, we won't be able to enter the ancient ruins, even if we fight for 3 days and 3 nights. Before the Southern Demon King could finish her sentence, the ancient Ice Demon King had already caught up to the escaping innate rancor. With a slash, the 10-meter-long ice blade cut the innate rancor into 2. After killing the innate rancor, the ancient Ice Demon King slowly sank into the glacier and disappeared. The innate rancor that was cut into 2 stopped 100 meters in front of Yu Yang. Yu Yang suddenly had a strange feeling. When the ancient Ice Demon King sank into the glacier, it seemed to have looked at him. Was it his illusion, or was there another reason? Chapter 512. Ancient Ruins Entrance. In the center of the gigantic glacier canyon, a crystal mountain stood tall. It was almost 1,000 meters tall and had a radius of a few times its height. It was conical, transparent, and pure. Under the reflection of the ice and snow, the mountain gave off a faint sapphire blue color. It was extremely beautiful and indescribable. If it wasn't for the fact that many crystal pillars on the mountain had collapsed, giving it a slightly broken appearance, no one would believe that this was an ownerless ancient ruins. Tornadoes roared around the mountain, wreaking havoc on the glacier land. The broken space also flashed from time to time, but strangely, it deviated from its surroundings and did not harm the crystal mountain at all. The entrance that the Southern Demon King brought everyone through was the Crystal Gate in the west. It was also one of the 3 remaining entrances to the ancient ruins. It was said that there were originally 4 gates in the east, south, west, and north. However, the north gate had completely collapsed and was inaccessible. The south and east gates were also broken a few times, making the passageway extremely dangerous. The only safe one was the west gate that the Southern Demon King had explored before. Everyone be careful. There are many passageways inside. Once you enter some passageways, you will be trapped inside and unable to leave for a few days. The Southern Demon King reminded everyone. Yu Yang suddenly summoned Little One Li. The Black Hell King, Sky Emperor, and Emperor of the Underworld were slightly stunned. There were no monsters appearing yet. Why did this brat summon his guardian beast? Yu Yang had entered the 5 Elements Palace before and suffered a loss. If there was a rule in the ancient ruins that forbade summoning beasts, then no matter how strong the summoned beasts were, they would still die tragically. The ancient Ice Demon King that killed the foreign innates just now was not a holy beast and was only platinum ranked level 10. However, its strength was actually comparable to a level 8 innate. If there were a few hundred ancient Ice Demon Kings, or even stronger ancient beasts hiding inside, and no one had summoned beasts, Yu Yang did not dare to imagine the consequences. Regardless of what the Black Hell King thought, his own safety was the most important. Not only did Yu Yang summon Little One Li, he also summoned the barbarian Cow Shadow on man who possessed the heart of earth and never felt tired. Let's go in. The Southern Demon King did not have any reaction, but the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor paid special attention to Little One Li. They secretly sized her up a few times, as if trying to determine if she was a holy beast or a divine beast. Little one, Li was lying on Yu Yang's back like a daughter. Her eyes were closed, as if she was sleeping soundly. When the Black Hell King saw her, his first reaction was to stay away from little one Li. Although they hadn't fought it before, Yu Yang's little snake demon was very powerful. It had a powerful inherent skill that could bind its opponent. The Supreme Innates of Tong Tian Tower had long heard of it. Shun Tian and the Black Prince had suffered under the Little Lamia Loli's binding chains inherent skill. Even the great Demon King of the Demon Abyss was no exception. Some people even boldly suspected that the Ocean Emperor Guanlan's death was caused by the combination of the Little Lamia Loli's binding chains, inherent skill, and the Yu Clan's third young master's world exterminating wheel. The Sky Emperor was also wary of Little One Li. After being bound, the Black Hell King still had his holy ranked equipment to protect himself. Since he was slightly weaker, the holy ranked equipment's power wasn't as strong as the Black Hell King's. He, who dominated Tong Tian Tower with his speed, techniques, and light power, had no advantage against the binding chains inherent skill. It could even be said that he was completely suppressed. This was also the main reason why he didn't want to provoke Yu Yang. Only the Silent Emperor of the Underworld took a few more glances at the barbarian Cow Shadow on man. It's really strange. These crystal passages are actually not guarded. The Southern Demon King brought Yu Yang and the others through the West Crystal Door. After walking for a few hundred meters, she stopped uneasily. There should be a type of shadow demon that can hide in the crystal passage at any time. They can copy the abilities of those who enter, and they will never die. It's really a headache. Why is there no one here? Are you sure we didn't go the wrong way? The Black Hell King asked. No. Although the crystal passages here are as complicated as a maze, I am confident that we didn't go the wrong way. The Southern Demon King shook her head. Is it possible that the passage is moving and changing its position? The Sky Emperor asked another possibility. No, that's not possible. I didn't feel any vibration. I am very sensitive to sound and air vibrations. Moreover, the markings here have not disappeared. This is indeed the path I have walked before. The Southern Demon King would place a small silver nail that looked like a musical note every certain distance. The silver nail emitted weak vibrations as her markings. Yu Yang noticed that she would collect the ones she left before and leave new ones every certain distance. Based on these markings, the Southern Demon King believed that she didn't take a wrong step. Let me ask you a question. The markings you left should be a piece of music. What is it? Yu Yang suddenly asked. Palace Grudge. The Southern Demon King looked at Yu Yang thoughtfully. Everyone, don't be suspicious. We are walking on the correct path now. However, the distance is not right. It looks like we have walked a few hundred meters, but in reality, we have walked a few thousand meters or even further. Yu Yang pointed at the Emperor of the Underworld behind him. He is the Shadow Demon. I don't know where the Emperor of the Underworld went, but he must have copied the Emperor of the Underworld's hallucination ability to deceive our eyes. What did you say? The Black Hell King's eyes instantly turned bone-chilling. The Emperor of the Underworld was silently replaced by someone else, and he didn't even know. If the Guardian had an even stranger ability, wouldn't he be in danger? The Sky Emperor immediately raised his strength to innate level 9 and attacked the Emperor of the Underworld. Sure enough, the Emperor of the Underworld was sent flying with one attack. The Shadow Demon only copied the Emperor of the Underworld's hallucination ability. Without the Emperor of the Underworld's strength, the Shadow Demon, who was only innate level 7, was easily sent flying by the Sky Emperor. As it was sent flying, the entire space seemed to have been cleansed by some kind of power and became clear. The ground under their feet did not change, but the space passage changed. It was as if it was still the same, but it had become familiar and strange at the same time. The Shadow Demon, who was disguised as the Emperor of the Underworld, also revealed a black figure that had no gender, reverting to its original form. The Emperor of the Underworld had already been replaced by the Shadow Demon, and the real Emperor of the Underworld was nowhere to be found. Just as the Black Hell King was about to speak, he suddenly realized that there were a few Sky Emperors appearing from the Crystal Passage. They all pounced towards the Sky Emperor at the same time. Their speed was as fast as the Sky Emperor's. They fought so fiercely that no one could tell who was the real one and who was the fake one. All the Sky Emperors roared in anger and chased after their opponents crazily. Their attacks flew all over the sky, dazzling everyone's eyes. Sky Emperor, take your time. We'll go look for treasures first. Yu Yang added fuel to the fire, making the Sky Emperor even more furious. Bastard, I'm the real one. Help me kill them quickly. Although they are immortal, once you kill them once, they will need to rest for a long time to recover. The Sky Emperor was going crazy. I'm the real one. You're all King imposters. I'll kill you all. The few Sky Emperors all said that they were the real one. Even the Black Hell King couldn't tell the difference. Seeing that the Sky Emperor was entangled, Yu Yang couldn't care less. One less incense burner meant one less ghost. Maybe there was only one secret treasure. Moreover, even if there were hundreds of millions of treasures, he wouldn't give one to the Sky Emperor. Yu Yang pulled the Southern Demon King and flew away. No matter how angry the Sky Emperor was, he wouldn't care. The Black Hell King hesitated for a while, but in the end he decided to stay. He had a special ability that allowed him to sense his target. Although he could only sense one person, he had already locked onto Yu Yang, so he wasn't worried that he could escape. Moreover, it might not be completely safe in front. The Sky Emperor didn't want Yu Yang to get the secret treasure before him, so he unleashed his innate level 10 power in a moment of desperation. Boundless brilliance! With a big move, he sent all the Sky Emperors who had copied the high-speed flying ability flying away, forcing them to revert back to their true form. Those shadow demons were heavily injured, but they didn't die. One by one, they floated into the crystal passage and went into hibernation. They could copy the special abilities of the intruders, but they couldn't copy their true power. For a supreme innate like the Sky Emperor, they could still be dealt with, but he was in a sorry state. After defeating all the shadow demons, the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor hurriedly followed behind Yu Yang and the Southern Demon King. When they arrived at a crystal plaza, they were just like Yu Yang, amazed by the spectacle in front of them. This was definitely a special subspace, similar to the 12 Zodiac temples, but without a guardian. The entire crystal plaza was huge. It was empty. According to Yu Yang's estimation, the entire area was more than a few hundred football fields, possibly even bigger than the entire Crystal Mountain. In the sky, there was a beautiful crystal dome, and surrounding it were crystal walls of immeasurable thickness that were nearly 1,000 meters tall. If one were to talk about its current space, the Crystal Mountain outside would not be able to contain it, not to mention the crystal passageway that was thousands of meters long. In the center of the Crystal Plaza, in front of Yu Yang, there was a crystal pillar that was 5 to 6 meters tall. Various heaven runes were recorded on it. Below it, there were 4 chests neatly placed. They were a gold chest, a silver chest, a bronze chest, and an ordinary wooden chest. It was so easy to find the treasures of the ancient ruins. The Sky Emperor was stunned. The Black Hell King also felt that it wasn't possible. He even thought that it could be a shadow demon, or perhaps the guardian of the Crystal Plaza used some kind of smokescreen to mislead everyone's eyes. Yu Yang didn't answer. The Southern Demon King sighed softly. I came here before and chose one of the 4 chests. Then a ray of light appeared. When I came to my senses, I realized that I was already in a unit world of the sky beyond heaven. I was expelled by that ray of light. The Sky Emperor asked, "What if I choose all 4? Yu Yang pointed at the heaven runes on the crystal pillar. I say, Sky Emperor, I didn't expect you to be illiterate. Didn't you see what was written on it? It clearly states that if you choose one of the 4 chests, the one who is fated will get the treasures. If you're not fated, you will be expelled, just like her. If you choose wrongly, you are finished. It will teleport you to the Blood Lake Hell for a free tour, and you can even enjoy the white bone ornament and skinning set. Also, if you choose all of them, then congratulations. An extremely powerful and terrifying ancient monster will appear in this crystal field. I believe you'll be so happy that you will pee in your pants. Since you are so afraid of death, You might as well not choose any of them. The Sky Emperor couldn't suppress his anger at Yu Yang's mockery. Southern Goblin King, what was the chest that you chose previously? The Black Hell King was more scheming and didn't bother about Yu Yang's mockery. He also understood some heaven runes. Although he didn't understand it as well as Yu Yang, he realized that the meaning of the heaven runes was exactly what Yu Yang said. I have been here twice. Including this one, this is the third time. The positions and order of the chests were all different. I chose the silver chest the first 2 times. The first one was to expel, the second one was an empty chest. I don't dare to say what the third one will be. You guys choose first, I will be the last one. The Southern Demon King didn't have enough confidence. She decided to give the chance to take the risk to everyone. You choose first. The Sky Emperor pointed at Yu Yang. Why? Yu Yang was curious. Why did this guy treat him so well? The 3 of us voted to let you choose first. The Sky Emperor expressed that he was very democratic and even used the method of voting. Is that so? You guys are so nice to me. Then I won't stand on ceremony. Yu Yang looked at the Sky Emperor mockingly and laughed coldly. It was as if he already knew which chest contained the treasures, and he took big strides forward. This time, the Sky Emperor was extremely regretful. Damn it, maybe this brat had some special ability to determine which chest the treasures were in. If he really let him choose first, then he would be at a disadvantage. Chapter 5:13. I choose the silver chest. Yu Yang touched the 4 chests for a long time. Finally, he confidently confirmed his target and picked up the silver chest. Wait! Sky Emperor panicked and quickly stopped him. If there was really a treasure in the silver chest, then he would have given it to Yu Yang for free. According to the probability, Southern Demon King's first 2 choices were banishment and an empty chest. Then the third choice would most likely be a treasure. There was at least a 50% chance that it would be a treasure. Now that he let Yu Yang pick the silver chest, Sky Emperor felt like a pig's head. He clearly had the best chance, but he gave it to Yu Yang. Yu Yang rushed to pick up the silver chest, as if there was really a treasure inside. He coldly looked back at Sky Emperor. If I remember correctly, just 10 seconds ago, you guys very generously voted to let me pick the chest first. Are you going back on your words now? Sky Emperor's expression froze, but he reacted quickly and waved his hands. No, of course not. However, you have clearly misunderstood my meaning. Letting you choose the treasure chest first is letting you choose, not letting you take it. In other words, it doesn't mean that you own this silver treasure chest. After all, it's hard to say whether or not there are treasures inside. This risk, as treasure hunting companions, we have to bear together. After we open the chest and confirm the treasure, we can slowly discuss how to distribute it. The Black Hell King nodded his head in agreement. Southern Demon King secretly cursed at how shameless he was, but she did not say anything. She wanted to see how Yu Yang would deal with it. Now, she was getting more and more curious about him. This brat's reactions were always different from others. Sometimes it was a joy to see him ruthlessly slap his enemies' faces. Yu Yang passed the silver chest to Sky Emperor. Don't you want this chest? Why are you talking so much? I'm embarrassed for you. If you want it, then take it. But do you know how to open it? This can only be opened with heaven runes. Do you know how to open it? Illiterate. Although Sky Emperor did not really understand the heaven runes on the crystal pillar, he could still open the chest. Moreover, he did not need to use violence. Black Hell King pointed his fingers in the air for dozens of times. Rays of light shot out from his fingers. Streaks of finger light formed and shot towards the silver treasure chest. The rays of light hit the connection points of the runic circle on the silver treasure chest. In an instant, the silver treasure chest in the hands of the Sky Emperor gradually emitted a bright light. After a minute of opening by the Black Hell King, the silver treasure chest was opened. A white pillar of light shot up into the sky. This was an important characteristic of a secret treasure that had been sealed for a long time. The Sky Emperor could vaguely see a golden item lying at the bottom of the box. As expected, choosing the silver chest was the right choice. There really were treasures inside. Before Yu Yang and the Southern Demon King could react, The Sky Emperor reached his hand out and grabbed the golden item in his hand. We also have a share of this treasure. Yu Yang was extremely dissatisfied with the Sky Emperor's actions. The treasure hunt is not over yet. I will keep it for now. Once the treasure hunt is over, we can slowly discuss how to distribute it. The Sky Emperor was delighted. He actually wanted to say that before the treasure hunt is over, the Black Hell King and I will send you on your way. Even your prison Emperor Divine Seal will be mine, not to mention the ancient secret treasure in your hand. I think you better put this treasure down immediately. Yu Yang laughed coldly. Is that so? I think it will be best kept in my hands. The Sky Emperor did not care about Yu Yang's threat. He shrugged his shoulders pretentiously. This might not be a treasure. Let go quickly. The Black Hell King's expression suddenly changed, but his advice was too late. Before the Sky Emperor could show off to Yu Yang, he disappeared along with a white pillar of light. The golden treasure in his hand fell to the ground with a ding. When the Black Hell King saw the heaven runes on the golden mirror-like treasure, he secretly sucked in a breath of cold air. This was because the runes on the treasure said Hell's Key. This was probably the key to open the gates of Hell. As for the Sky Emperor, he was teleported to the legendary Blood Lake Hell. This Blood Lake Hell was not the demon abyss. It was a very terrifying space in the heaven beyond heaven. Countless ancient beasts were imprisoned inside. The terrifying unit world of the ancient ruins was simply the safest place for a vacation to the Blood Lake Hell. Even if the Sky Emperor could return from the Blood Lake Hell, it would not be a matter of a day or two. Yu Yang laughed evilly. The Sky Emperor will definitely have a good time. Let's wish him a pleasant journey. The Black Hell King stared coldly at Yu Yang, like a poisonous snake staring at its prey. You did it on purpose. Yu Clan's third young master, you are very smart. However, in the face of absolute power, intelligence is sometimes useless. Do you understand what I mean? You were the one who opened the chests. He snatched the treasures. No one forced him to do so. Everyone could see that. Yu Yang expressed that he was a good child and did not play any tricks. Southern Demon King, if you were to choose, what chest would you choose next? The Black Hell King turned to ask the Southern Demon King. What about you? The Southern Demon King asked back. The Black Hell King suddenly took out a shining golden thunder hammer and smashed it into the chests, shattering all the chests into pieces. All the chests were empty. There was no banishing light. There were no treasures either. The Black Hell King stared at Yu Yang. Yu Clan's third young master, your hands are really fast. I couldn't see when you secretly stole the treasures, but I know that you must have stolen the treasures from these 4 chests. Yu Yang calmly dug his ear and replied nonchalantly, there is no evidence. Although we are familiar with each other, I can still sue you for slander. The Southern Demon King could not stand his arrogance and pulled his ear. Great, you even lied to me. What treasures did you take? Spit them out immediately. I have made 3 trips and lost more than 10 of my subordinates. Now, I have not even seen the shadow of the treasures. You actually dare to play the game of stealing the dragon and changing the phoenix? If you don't hand over the treasures, I will not let you off. Seeing the Southern Demon King fly into a rage, Yu Yang and the Black Hell King were dumbfounded. They really couldn't tell. The Southern Goblin King, who is usually gentle and refined, actually became so ferocious when it came to treasures. Yu Yang was so frightened that he hurriedly took out a gold-ranked golden compass from his bosom. With trembling hands, he offered it to the angry woman. Big sister, there's only this treasure in the 4 chests. There's also a banishing scroll. Banishing scroll? Forget it, it's yours. The Southern Demon King snatched the golden compass and waved her hands arrogantly to dismiss Yu Yang. Then, she held the golden compass in her hands with stars in her eyes and cheered nonstop. All right, I will give you a name. Let's call you Gucci Compass. From now on, you'll be my 1,925th collection. Yu Yang and the Black Hell King almost fell to the ground. Good heavens, it turns out that everyone was scheming and fighting openly and secretly. They had all helped her for nothing. Listening to her words, there were actually 1,925 treasures. Yu Yang and the Black Hell King maliciously guessed that this Southern Demon King had robbed countless national treasuries. Seeing that the Southern Demon King only had gold-ranked treasures in her hands, the Black Hell King decided not to provoke this woman. His main target was Yu Yang, especially the Prison Emperor Divine Seal on Yu Yang. As long as it was in Yu Yang's hands, the Black Hell King would not be able to eat or sleep. The Black Hell King felt that it was time to act now that he had found the treasures in the ancient ruins. Now that the Southern Demon King had the treasures, she was a smart woman. She would definitely not interfere in the battle between him and Yu Yang. Moreover, even if she sided with Yu Yang, the Black Hell King was confident that he could kill the two of them in this crystal plaza. There was only one crystal passageway to enter. This place did not restrict the summoning of beasts. The Black Hell King felt that as long as he blocked the crystal passageway, Yu Yang and the Southern Demon King would definitely die. Just as the Black Hell King was about to attack Yu Yang, the entire crystal plaza suddenly trembled. The crystal pillars sank rapidly. The ground caved in. A giant crystal spiral staircase mysteriously appeared. No one knew how deep it went down. Could it be that the real treasures were still below? The Black Hell King did not have time to think as he suddenly felt that something was wrong. Countless powerful auras appeared below the crystal spiral staircase. It was as if thousands of soldiers and horses were about to rush out. Every one of them had the strength of the ancient Ice Demon King that they met previously. There were even a few that were even stronger. Yu Yang extended his hand and poked the Southern Demon King, who was still immersed in happiness. "Big sister, we should go. So long-winded. You guys can deal with these few thieves. You don't have to ask me." The Southern Demon King hated it when people interrupted her appreciation of the treasures. "Big sister, look above you." Yu Yang pulled her sleeves again. The Black Hell King heard this and looked up. His pupils immediately contracted. At the dome of the Crystal Plaza, there was a giant, glowing ball of light floating in the air. The ball of light enveloped a giant ancient giant. The giant that was curled up and sleeping inside the ball of light was at least 10 meters tall. If it were to stretch its entire body, it would probably be the size of an ancient titan. Not to mention Yu Yang. Even the Black Hell King was scared out of his wits. This sleeping ancient giant was definitely not someone to be trifled with. Once it awakens, it would definitely cause a huge ruckus. What's going on? The Southern Demon King was also shocked. She screamed as if she had just woken up from a dream. "What did you guys do? What happened here?" "Shoo." Yu Yang quickly covered her mouth. "Big sister, now is not the time to talk about this. What we need to do now is to leave quickly." Before he could finish his sentence, the crystal passageway 1,000 meters away rumbled and completely closed up. There was not even a small crack left. The ball of light floating in the air slowly floated down. The hearts of the Black Hell King, Yu Yang, and the Southern Demon King sunk. Which stingy bastard left this ancient ruin behind? They only took a golden compass, but not only did they let the dogs loose, they even sent an ancient giant to bully them. How could they live like this? Chapter 514. The Black Hell King instantly increased his strength and exploded with the power of an innate level 10. A terrifying shockwave swept through the entire Crystal Plaza like a hurricane. Yu Yang and the Southern Demon King hurriedly moved away from this fellow. The Black Hell King felt that it wasn't enough to level up to innate level 10. He tore off his cloak and revealed his real body. He continued to increase his strength. His aura was like a tornado that spun crazily. Countless lightning bolts danced around the Black Hell King's body like silver snakes. A dark domain with a diameter of about 100 meters slowly appeared. With the Black Hell King as the center, it rose rapidly. It formed a semicircle that enveloped the Black Hell King like a shield. Countless amounts of dark energy erupted from the ground like a fountain. After boiling for a while, the dark energy formed into thousands of strange shapes. Some looked like weapons, some looked like beasts, some looked like spirits, and some looked like humans. However, they were all formed from dark energy and were controlled by the Black Hell King's will. They all gathered around him. The Black Hell King's dark sacred armor continuously absorbed the surrounding dark energy and emitted thousands of rays of light. Those rays of light carried a hint of gold, as if they were real. Countless amounts of dark energy in the shape of weapons entered the dark sacred armor, causing it to continuously increase in size. A pair of wings, shoulder pads, a giant shield, and a sharp knuckle blade grew out. After the dark sacred armor's second form, the Black Hell King roared again. His eyes turned red as he forcefully unsealed his strength to Elder Innate Level 1. The dark energy in the shape of beasts quickly pounced towards him and got close to his body. After the Black Hell King summoned his guardian beast, Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger, the dark energy fused with the Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger and transformed into a strange tiger armor. The Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger fused with the dark energy, and its appearance changed drastically. It grew horns, wings, a golden saddle, silver chains, flaming claws, and an icy tail. It looked extremely mighty. A diamond-ranked, level 10 holy beast. Yu Yang used his Heaven Eyes divine vision to observe the Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger and realized that it was extremely powerful. It was more than 10 times stronger than Shun Tian's level 9 Golden Emperor. It was also 4 to 5 times stronger than Impatience's Charm Demon Queen, who had just leveled up to diamond-ranked level 10. The Impatience Succubus Queen was the weakest among all the level 10 diamond warriors. After all, she had just leveled up not long ago. Next would be Inshi's Hell Black Dragon King. It was only slightly stronger than the Charm Demon Queen, but the difference was not too big. As for the Ocean Emperor Guanlan's three-headed Golden Dragon King, it was far stronger than the Hell Black Dragon King and the Charm Demon Queen. It should be at least 3 times stronger than the two. It was because of the three-headed Golden Dragon King's strength that the Ocean Emperor Guanlan was able to defeat Tong Tian Tower's #1 killer, and she at the Crystal Canyon. This Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger was much stronger than the three-headed Golden Dragon King. If they were to fight, even if the three-headed Golden Dragon King, the Infernal Black Dragon King, and the Succubus Queen worked together, they probably wouldn't be a match for this Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger. Strange, this tiger hasn't transformed into a human. How can it be a holy beast? The Southern Demon King also seemed to have some kind of ability to detect the enemy's beasts, but it wasn't as useful as Yu Yang's Heaven Eyes divine vision. At least she didn't know the truth. She only felt that something was wrong. There's a secret technique from the ancient times that can fix a beast's form into a beast, never to transform into a human again. This kind of fixation can make the beast stronger, but it has to be exchanged with its future potential and intelligence. Compared to a diamond-ranked level 10 holy beast, this Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger only has a beginner level of intelligence. Compared to some holy beasts that have perfect human form and high intelligence and emotions, this tiger is simply a retard. Yu Yang knew about this secret technique from the pitiful guy's mother's inheritance of knowledge, but he was very against this kind of heartless secret technique. Since ancient times, this kind of secret technique had been a taboo, because its use would completely stifle the growth of a beast. The future of a beast was to transform into a human. A holy beast was already very close to a human. When a beast becomes a divine beast, it would be no different from a human. It would also have high intelligence and emotions. It could completely live and contract grimoires like a human. A divine beast could integrate into human society, learn and grow like a human. It could even marry and have children like a human and prolong its offspring. The Black Hell King used the form consolidation secret technique to fix the Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger in its tiger form forever. By doing this, although the Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger's battle power would increase by several folds, it would never be able to grow even a little bit in the future. Moreover, this was also a kind of slavery. The Heaven-Devouring Demon Tiger would forever become the Black Hell King's mount, and not his battle partner. To Yu Yang, he would never do this. Not only did he treat Little One Li as his darling, he also treated Bloody Queen Red, Barbarian Cow Shadow on Man, Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen Duo with love. He even treated the spirit of Earth Fire and Reaper Mantis, who had yet to transform into a human equally, not to mention the hornless dragon Jiang, who he treated like a lover just after contracting. He treated Jiang and the other girls as humans, and not as beasts. Although their forms were different, Yu Yang would never sacrifice a beast just because he needed power. If he did not have enough power, he felt that he should increase it through hard work. He should use his own efforts to obtain power. Yu Yang would never use his beasts' lives, or their freedom, or even their future growth in exchange. The Black Hell King is crazy. The Southern Demon King despised this kind of behavior of sacrificing beasts. She snorted angrily. Not to mention holy beasts that could transform into humans. Even normal beasts would wail in grief when their masters abandoned them. The heaven-devouring demon tiger was not only his guardian beast, but also a holy beast. The Black Hell King still wanted to make it his mount. From this, it could be seen how strong the Black Hell King's desire for power was. This kind of mentality could no longer be described with normal words, because he had reached the realm of cold-bloodedness. Rumble, when the human-shaped dark energy fused into the Black Hell King's body, he instantly grew half a meter taller. His muscles bulged due to the strong energy. The entire dark sacred armor was upgraded to its third form. It emitted a terrifying light. It was as dark as ink, as powerful as a demon, and as swift as an arrow. Even though Yu Yang and the Southern Demon King had already retreated 2,000 meters away, they still felt that the dark light emitted by the dark sacred armor was like needles stabbing into them. The Southern Demon King's jade pipa vibrated slightly. Her expression changed. Looks like we have to be more careful. There is something wrong with the Black Hell King's dark domain. Those beasts in human forms should be the lives he killed, and the weapons should be the treasures he destroyed. He used some kind of secret technique to strengthen the dark sacred armor. This dark sacred armor is completely different from what the legends say. Yu Yang had already seen this with his Heaven Eyes divine vision. The Black Hell King's dark sacred armor was now very close to the power of a divine weapon. This was obviously not its original power, but the result of the Black Hell King using the dark domain's energy to strengthen it. The dark domain had a sacrificial ability. It could absorb a part of the sacrificial target's energy and turn it into its master's. But to be able to strengthen the dark sacred armor to such an extent, it was unknown how many lives and treasures the Black Hell King had killed. The Black Hell King had already leveled up to Elder Innate Level 1. He was like a black sun. Not only strange, but also extremely powerful. He pulled out the dark sacred sword from his waist with his left hand and raised the cloud-collapsing thunderhammer with his right. The huge light ball, floating in the sky, descended to the ground and gradually disappeared. The sleeping ancient giant had just fallen to the ground and had yet to fully wake up. "Go and die," the Black Hell King roared. His voice was like thunder exploding in the sky. He raised the dark sacred sword and the cloud-collapsing thunderhammer in his hands at the same time. Together with the hammer that emitted a sword aura that was more than 10 meters long, they ruthlessly struck the ancient giant's head with the force of a thunderbolt. The ancient giant, who had just raised his head and had yet to open his eyes, fell to the ground with a loud bang. Under the Black Hell King's sneak attack, the ancient giant was heavily injured and fainted. The Black Hell King did not stop there. He was unforgiving after gaining the upper hand. The cloud-collapsing thunder hammer and dark sacred sword in his hands danced like raindrops, striking the ancient giant's head repeatedly. He was bent on killing the ancient giant on the spot. Yu Yang frowned. Something's not right. He realized that the ancient Ice Demon King and the unknown monsters that rushed out for the crystal spiral staircase were all staring at the Black Hell King in shock. No one actually stepped forward to stop him. They were all petrified as they watched the Black Hell King attack the ancient giant. At this moment, there was a wave of energy that was as vast as the sea surging through the entire Crystal Plaza. Compared to this wave of energy, the strongest Black Hell King was just a slightly bigger ant. At the same time the vast energy appeared, a mysterious thought wave was transmitted into Yu Yang's mind. In 1 minute, the death arena will open. Participants must kill all their enemies before they can leave. When the battle time is over, all participants who have less than 100 points will have their lives destroyed by the law of death. Before Yu Yang and the Southern Demon King could react, the Crystal Plaza suddenly rose and expanded rapidly. The east side of the crystal wall shattered soundlessly and disappeared. A crystal tunnel that was 1,000 meters wide pointed to the east. About 10 kilometers away, an arena that was 10 times bigger than the Crystal Plaza appeared. At the same time, Yu Yang sensed countless powerful auras appearing more than 10 kilometers away. Among them, there were 3 especially powerful auras. They were all existences on par with the ancient titan, Wu Su. If the Black Hell King did not injure the ancient giant, then there should be 4 of them. There was one in each of the north, south, east, and west. After being stunned for a moment, Yu Yang immediately reacted. He roared at the Black Hell King. "Black Hell King, you idiot. The giant that you are fighting is our seated player. Do you have nothing better to do? Sneak attack your sister. Our seated player is about to be killed by you. Stop, that's our helper. Without this giant, you won't be able to survive even if you have 100 lives." What? The Black Hell King was dumbfounded. He was a person who would use all his strength to kill the moment he felt a threat. Seeing that the ancient giant was about to awaken and that his life was in danger, he immediately used all his strength to sneak attack. But now, not only did he get involved in this mysterious death arena, he even injured one of his own. The Southern Demon King felt a headache coming on. Now she understood why there was a saying, "Don't be afraid of a godlike opponent, but afraid of a pig-like teammate." Having a selfish person like the Black Hell King as a teammate was really exhausting. She summoned her grimoire and looked at the information on it. Sure enough, the Bloodflower map was filled with enemies. On their side, the ancient giant was indeed a seated player. Just like the ancient Ice Demon King and the other warriors, they were completely harmless existences. Quickly heal the giant. Yu Yang wanted to kill the Black Hell King with a single slash. When he flew closer, he realized that the ancient giant was actually a flat-chested giant lowly. He became even more furious at the Black Hell King. "Have you eaten too many retarded pills? How could you hit a child? Quickly scram and block the passage. If we can't save this giant lowly, both of us will die." The Black Hell King was speechless. He really didn't expect such a thing to happen. He had a great time sneak attacking, but who knew that the giant was actually his teammate? It was different from the predicament on Yu Yang's side. The giant's footsteps could be heard from the east, south, and north. Chapter 5:15. The Black Hell King panicked. According to their auras, the giants in the north, south, and south were all much stronger than him. Once they attacked together, they would definitely be annihilated. What do we do now? The Black Hell King hoped that Yu Yang would come up with an idea at this critical juncture. "You're asking me what to do after crippling him? Scram, don't hinder me from saving him." Yu Yang was angry and anxious. He was still asking him what to do now. If it wasn't for the Black Hell King, he wouldn't have ended up like this. The most important thing now was to save this Lolita ancient giant. Only with her powerful strength could they defend against the enemies successfully. Towards Yu Yang's angry scolding, the Black Hell King's eyes flashed with anger. However, he was extremely patient and did not flare up. Moreover, the situation was urgent. He was still counting on Yu Yang's Nirvana Flame and World Exterminating Wheel to effectively kill the enemies. The Black Hell King retreated 100 meters away, his expression fluctuating. He completely ignored Yu Yang's words of asking him to guard the crystal passage. Now, even an idiot would know how dangerous it was to guard the passage. Once the 3 giants joined hands, no one would be their match. Hence, the Black Hell King decided to protect himself first and observe the situation before making a decision. In the death arena, the one who could survive till the end was the winner. The Black Hell King scoffed at the heroic act of guarding the crystal passage. Just like that, the Black Hell King stood on the spot without moving. He did not follow Yu Yang's plan to guard the crystal passage, nor did he escape back to the grimoire world. "Let me guard the passage." Southern Demon King saw that the Black Hell King was unwilling to risk his life to guard the passage, and that Yu Yang wanted to save people. She could only grit her teeth and guard the passage herself. She knew that she might not be able to defend for more than a few minutes. But it was better than letting the enemies charge in without any resistance, the Southern Goblin King screamed, and her power instantly rose to the peak of innate level 9. Her fingers danced on the jade pipa, and a high-spirited and passionate song walking resounded, echoing throughout the entire crystal plaza. The Southern Demon King's body floated towards the crystal passageway like a fairy descending from the 9 heavens. Along with the sonorous sound of the pipa, the sound of nature spilled out for a long time. She cried out blood with every word, tearing people apart. Yellow sand appears, green grass side. Stepping out of the formation, looking at millions of people, how many are the same age, banners, horse whips, back view, gazing at the setting sun in the twilight. No return to the distant mountains, in the autumn wind, in the long streets and palaces, pounding clothes all night long, weeping to bid farewell to the family elders, still ringing in my ears, dancing gracefully, singing year after year, warriors bathed in blood, Territory 3. 1,000 Li, who will remember today's face? The wolf riders go straight in. The flames of war rise continuously. The new recruits go into battle. Their ambitions become a natural moat. The saber and the shield collided with each other. His body broke through the tip of the spear. Arrows fell like rain. His eyes were filled with anger. Murderous cries shook the heavens before the blood-dringer's formation. Although the mountains and rivers remain, the white bones are buried in the 9 peaks. The singing has ceased, the old and the young work in the fields. A white lotus has bloomed in the pond. The family need not think about it anymore. Behind her, countless ancient warriors, facing death with equanimity, followed her to the crystal passage. Yang did not know who these people were. He also did not know why they were here. He only knew that these people had awakened from the ancient seal. Without a word of complaint, they joined the battle without hesitation. Who were they fighting for? Who was the one who created this death arena? What was this person's goal of making people kill each other? Yu Yang couldn't understand it at all. He felt that he was a threatened follower. When he heard the Southern Demon King's soul-resonating song, as well as the Pipa's sorrowful wail, he could not help but feel an uncontrollable thirst for blood. He could not wait to rush forward and fight alongside her. How was it possible for a woman to guard the crystal passage while he, a man, was hiding behind her? Yu Yang's hands were trembling. His heart was burning. Little Wenli hugged Yu Yang's thighs tightly as she tried to dissuade him. The most important thing now was to wake up the heavily injured ancient giant Loli. If she could not join the battle, then this battle could be declared over. Yu Yang bit his lips so hard that blood came out. Only then did he try his best to hold back the surging blood in his heart. He channeled all his innate chi into giant Loli's head and spared no effort to help her recover from her injuries. Under Yu Yang's command, Bloody Queen Red, Barbarian Cow Shadow a Man, Golden Beast, Spirit of Earth Fire, and Reaper Mantis all rushed to help the Southern Demon King defend. Even the golden crowned Thorny Flower Queen, who was still in a deep sleep, had to stop her evolution and come out to join the battle. As for the hornless dragon Jiang Ying, who was still in a deep sleep, she was affected by Yu Yang's emotions and showed signs of anxiety. However, she could not wake up at the moment. Her body kept trembling as if she wanted to wake up immediately, but she could not control her body. The Black Hell King still did not have any reaction. He stood motionless on the spot and watched everything coldly. Little Wenli returned to the Grimoire world and summoned Stone Element Medusa, Storm Mermaid, Thunder Naga, and Ice Serpent Demon. Other than Storm Mermaid, who knew how to heal, stayed by Yu Yang's side to help him heal, the other 3 quickly joined the battle. Seeing Yu Yang summon so many beasts, the Black Hell King's eyes turned cold. There were a few times when he wanted to attack Yu Yang. In the end, he held it in. What was certain was that Yu Yang had become a thorn in the Black Hell King's side, and had become his biggest threat. If not for this death arena, the Black Hell King would definitely kill Yu Yang at all costs. Now that the Black Hell King was using the enemy to exhaust Yu Yang's strength, why would he be willing to help? Third young master, please stay here to heal. I'll take care of the crystal passage. Suddenly, a shadow appeared. It was the Emperor of the Underworld who appeared out of nowhere. He expressed to Yu Yang that he was willing to guard the crystal passage so that Yu Yang could heal the ancient giant quickly. Not only him, the battered and bloodied Sky Emperor also appeared. The Sky Emperor was clearly teleported to the Blood Lake Hell. Why did he enter the crystal passage again? This is bad. An ominous feeling flashed across Yu Yang's heart. When he saw Elder Nangong's figure appear, his whole body trembled. Little Yu Yang, what happened? Elder Nangong seemed to be unaware of the situation. War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North, who appeared with him, were even more confused. Yu Yang originally thought that the enemies in the north, south, and east were the Emperor of the Underworld, Sky Emperor, Elder Nangong, and War Tiger of the East, and Fierce Tooth of the North. He did not expect that his expectations were completely wrong. However, this was also what Yu Yang did not want to see the most. If all the people who entered were gathered, then who would be the enemy? Yu Yang thought of a possibility, which meant the most terrifying result. That would be the real war in the outer realm. There might be more than one Tong Tian Tower. In another space, there might be 3 other Tong Tian Towers. The warriors there would become his enemies. This endless war would decide the final winner, just like the survival of the fittest in nature. Yu Yang believed that he was the most outstanding, but his cultivation time was too short. What if there was a warrior as strong as the Black Hell King, or even someone stronger than the Black Hell King in the other Tong Tian Towers? In addition to the fact that their seeded player was heavily injured, what were their chances of winning this war? I remember now. After listening to Yu Yang's explanation, Elder Nangong actually nodded his head and confirmed in an unusually serious manner. I have heard of a similar legend. This is an ancient war that happens once every 10,000 years. I always thought that it only happened in the heaven realm. I did not expect that we would unintentionally be involved in an ancient war. It's not unintentional. Someone must have done something to trigger this ancient war. Yu Yang did not have time to think further, because the war was about to begin. It was about to start. Elder Nangong hurried forward to help the Southern Demon King defend the Crystal Passage. However, War Tiger of the East and Fierce Tooth of the North and Sky Emperor stayed by the Black Hell King's side and did not join the battle. After Yu Yang's full treatment, the ancient giant Loli opened her eyes. Her eyes were filled with confusion, as if she could not remember anything. She swayed and sat up. Because of her dizziness, she fell head first on the ground, causing the entire ground to rumble. After a long time, she propped herself up and even tried to stand up. Her entire body was on the verge of collapsing. After taking 2 steps, she lost her footing and fell onto the ground, causing the entire Crystal Plaza to tremble. Yu Yang hated the Black Hell King to the extreme. She was originally a super strong giant Loli, but now she had a concussion because of the Black Hell King. Wake up! Yu Yang jumped to the giant Loli's ear and shouted loudly. The giant Loli casually grabbed Yu Yang with her 2 fingers. Her face was filled with confusion as she asked with a thunderous voice, "Who are you?" Yu Yang sweated profusely. "I am your friend. This is not important. The important thing is, do you remember who you are? Battle. We are about to start the battle. Can you remember what you want to do when you wake up?" The giant Loli reached out her hand and touched her forehead. "My head hurts. I can't remember anything." Yu Yang was completely at his wit's end. He quickly comforted her. "Rest well. You have to come and help me later. The enemy will be here soon, understand?" When the giant Loli heard that there was an enemy, she immediately looked around nervously and shouted, "Titan!" This shout caused a shockwave that shook the entire place. Yu Yang almost fainted from the shock of her voice. Countless golden lights appeared on the giant Loli's body. It was as bright as the sun, making people unable to look at it directly. An extremely strong energy immediately sent Yu Yang flying 100 meters away. On the giant Loli's body, an extremely beautiful female battle armor appeared. It was gigantic and dazzling with golden light. Countless heaven rune circles were engraved on the battle armor as decorations. There was also a huge ancient rune on the breastplate. There was also a slightly smaller ancient rune on the forehead of the helmet, the palms of the hands, and the knees. Without a doubt, this was a divine equipment set. It contained infinite power. The eyes of the Black Hell King and the Sky Emperor immediately revealed a fanatical greed. Unfortunately, they could only look at it. Even if it was given to them, they would not be able to wear such a huge divine equipment battle armor. Not to mention that the divine equipment chose its owner automatically. That's it. Let's fight together. Yi-Yang was very excited. He felt that this giant lowly was too awesome. With such a set of divine equipment, would she still be afraid of the enemy? She would just charge forward and punch the enemy to death. He was happy for less than 10 seconds. The giant lowly who was wearing the divine equipment covered her forehead again. Her body swayed a few times, so dizzy. With a rumble, she fell to the ground and fainted. Everyone was dumbfounded by what they saw. No one would have thought that it would turn out like this. Yu-Yang glared at the Black Hell King. He wanted to tear this guy into pieces. The Black Hell King was very embarrassed. He turned his face away and pretended not to see Yu-Yang's disdainful gaze and middle finger. On the battlefield outside the Crystal Passage, countless enemies had already gathered. A voice pierced everyone's ears like an arrow. People of the Soaring Dragon sect, are you all so scared that you peed your pants? Another faintly discernible voice ridiculed. The legendary most arrogant people of the Soaring Dragon sect, I didn't expect you to not even dare to come out of the Crystal Passage. You don't live up to your reputation. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.